Hello everyone, if you're new to my channel, consider liking and subscribing. It will make me feel wonderful if you do that. Thanks. By the way, I also have another Naruto and Luffy fanfiction channel. If you are interested, link is in the description.
The Chronicles of Straw Hat Luffy by KuramaSageNaruto. At a young age, Luffy accidentally activated his king's haki against the mountain bandits. Seeing the danger that Luffy could pose to the village, he takes the boy to a small island in the East Blue for a year. He teaches Luffy how to use his haki and drops him back at Fushia a year later. OP Luffy. Different Devil Fruit Luffy. I don't own anything. Adios.
What, find the shooter? How the heck am I supposed to do that? Usopp yelled. No time to think about it, we only have 10 minutes, Sanji told him. Since the diameter of the blast is about 5 kilometers or so, the enemy should be at least 2.5 kilometers away, Nami stated. No, Vivi cut them off, the shooters might be very near. How if the shooter is there, then that'll mean, Usopp said in shock. Crocodile is that sort of person, Nami told them. Killing his own buddies, Chopper stated in disbelief. I'd like to eat that guy raw, Sanji muttered as he noticed Pell draw his blade. If you know it, then let's, Zoro started before he drew his Sandai Kitetsu and stopped a rebel's blade as Sanji kicked the man into unconsciousness. Damn it, Usopp yelled in shock at the power the cook and swordsman possessed. We've finally found you, Princess Vivi, a Baroque works agent yelled as from a large group. Killing you will earn us a promotion and we'll become millionaires. How long do you plan on taking? Sanji asked Zoro. We have to make every second count, Zoro replied. 2 seconds, the pair said as one. Let's run, Nami yelled as she saw Sanji close his eyes and Zoro draw his swords. Let's hurry and escape to somewhere safe, Usopp shouted. 10 minutes, is this country going to make it? Vivi thought. Our last chance, the last 10 minutes. Back with Zoro and Sanji, the pair were currently destroying any of the Baroque works agents that came near them. Zoro was using all 3 of his blades to not only cut through swords but cut down every agent he was near. Sanji was dealing out a flurry of kick and battering and breaking the bones of everyone that came near him. With Luffy rushed to the downed and badly wounded Chaka's side. As soon as he landed on the roof, he noticed that Crocodile was gone and the only alive person there was Chaka. He rolled the man over as his eyes fluttered open and looked at the straw hat wearing boy's face. Where is he? Luffy asked as the man looked at him. I don't know, the man cried. He took the king with him. I didn't want to do this, Luffy whispered as he stood up. I'll have to find the most powerful aura. Luffy stood completely still as he started to use his Kenbunshoku haki to locate Crocodile. He could feel 2 strong auras as well as a fairly weak one as well as a group that was preparing to cut them off. He took to the air and began to speed off after those auras. With Crocodile, Miss All Sunday and Cobra, leave, we have important business, Miss All Sunday stated as she stood next to Crocodile as she held Cobra. It's hard to obey that with what happened in Alubarna. I've already listened to the reports, Tashigi told them as she stood in front of a group of Marines. HMPH, I don't care as long as you're government dogs, I don't care, Miss All Sunday replied. Move or die, Crocodile ordered. We have no desire to move, Tashigi yelled and replied. Then I'll have to kill you, Miss All Sunday stated as she walked in front of Crocodile. Wait, Marines, don't worry about me, Crocodile pleaded. Listen, at 4 p.m. the plaza will be bombed, please stop it. What, there's only 7 minutes left, Tashigi said in shock as she looked at her watch. This relates to thousands of lives. Don't worry, we will save you and stop them, Tashigi yelled as she drew her sword. Wait, this woman, she can, Cobra tried to warn. Tried to fleur, Miss All Sunday whispered as arms wrapped around all the soldiers' necks. Strangle. You have a devil fruit power, Tashigi yelled as her men dropped to the floor with blood coming from their mouths. Didn't she say we have some business? Crocodile told the woman with a smirk. Lieutenant, that's Nico Robin, a Marine screamed from behind her. She's had a bounty for over 20 years. As she sunk 8 battleships when she was 8 years old, she has a bounty of 70 million belly. They know your name, Crocodile chuckled. Even with the large difference in numbers we can't take out these 2, Tashigi thought in frustration. Sergeant, get everybody to the palace ground and stop the bomb, Tashigi ordered. But Lieutenant, the Marine tried to argue. Hurry, Tashigi yelled at the man as the Marines followed her orders. Now release that man. I told you not to interfere with me, Miss All Sunday said as fours appear on Tashigi, 2 holding her head back and holding her sword to her throat. Miss All Sunday watched as the woman fell to her knees with tears flowing and was forced to allow the 3 to pass her. It wasn't long before they arrived at the entrance to hidden stairs that took them down to where they wanted to be. Hidden stairs, Miss All Sunday said in shock. The true history is down there, Cobra told the pair. Finally, Crocodile muttered with a large smile. Normal people wouldn't know of its existence, Cobra stated. The world is full of secrets that even a big country's king like you wouldn't know, Miss All Sunday informed him. Can you understand the true history? Cobra asked in fear. Of course, she can, that's why I made a deal with her, Crocodile told the king. This isn't your fault, because you never realized someone could read it, Robin stated. There may be some information about Pluton in this true history. I don't know, Cobra replied with a frown. The Alabastian kingdom always protected its true history, that's all we ever did. Protect, don't joke about it, Miss All Sunday laughed. Calm down, Crocodile warned as they arrived in large hall. The thing is behind that door, Cobra told them. Exactly, Robin replied as she walked forwards and pushed open the door. It's mine, Crocodile laughed. With Luffy the straw-hatted boy rushed through the streets of Alubarna and came across the defeated form of Tashigi who was forcing herself to her feet with tears running down her face. The woman stared at him and lifted her sword as she began to glare at him. Straw Hat, Tashigi yelled. Crocodile, Luffy growled out as he looked at the marine. Where did he go? To the temple, Tashigi cried as she pointed in the direction Crocodile and Miss All Sunday went. That way, Luffy replied as he began to run in that direction, thanks. What is this? Luffy heard Tashigi cry as he ran towards Crocodile. The straw-hatted boy began to stretch out his Kenbunshoku haki once again. Knowing the direction Crocodile was in certainly helped locate the man. As soon as he felt the strong aura he began to charge off in that direction, only slightly surprised that it was underground. With Crocodile, Miss All Sunday and Cobra. Did you find everything you wanted to know? Cobra asked as he watched Miss All Sunday stared at the poneglyph. There's nothing else, Miss All Sunday asked as she ran her hands over the poneglyph. Is this all your country is hiding? Aren't you satisfied? Cobra replied. I have fulfilled your wish. That's right, Miss All Sunday sighed. Is it the true history, Nico Robin? Crocodile questioned. Can you read it? Yes, Miss All Sunday replied. Then read it out loud, Crocodile told her, this true history. Gyxilla conquered and built this kingdom in the year 239. In 269 the Dima family is the strongest, Miss All Sunday read aloud. During the year 306, Aramar completed the Fuda Holy Temple. In 325 Masandi the Ordian hero. Hey, was that what we're looking for? Crocodile yelled. I don't give a damn about this country's history. I just want to know if there's information about the ancient weapon. There is nothing like that, Miss All Sunday told Crocodile. It is just history. What? Crocodile muttered in shock. The word Pluton isn't anywhere, Miss All Sunday stated. I see how pitiful, Crocodile muttered in distaste. Although you were such a good partner, I'll kill you right here, right now. What? Miss All Sunday gasped in shock. The agreement we made 4 years ago has come to an end. What you said was, as long as you take me to the true history, I'll tell you about the weapon. Crocodile told her, after 4 years in Baroque works. You've always been smart had time, and that was enough for me. You were a worthy woman. But you ended up breaking your promise, but I am not at all mad at you. You know why, Nico Robin. Hey stupid, Miss All Sunday muttered as she jumped away from the man and pulled a small vial of liquid from her cloak. I've worked 4 years with you. I always knew your intentions. Crocodile muttered as Miss All Sunday threw the vial at him. Water. Crocodile tilted his head to the side and dodged the small vial before he felt an arm appear out of his shoulder. His eyes opened in surprise as the hand caught the vial and he could see that Miss All Sunday was smirking at him as she charged at him. If I pour water on you, this knife will go through you, Miss All Sunday shouted. As Miss All Sunday charged at the man she had to let out a gasp of shock. The Shichibukai seemed to disappear right in front of her eyes. The woman started to look around for her target before she heard his familiar chuckle and felt a hook pierce her chest. I will forgive everything you've done, Crocodile told her as he pulled the hook out of her chest, because from the beginning I never trusted anyone. Miss All Sunday spat up a glob of blood as Crocodile watched her collapse to the ground. The Shichibukai smiled down at the woman as she struggled to get to her feet before she gave up. I know that the Pluton exists, Crocodile told her. I don't need the true history to find it. As long as I have this country, it is only a matter of time. As Crocodile watched Miss All Sunday lift her head to glare at him, he felt the ground rumble beneath him and looked around in shock. He could see some parts of the tomb falling apart as the shaking increased in intensity. The cannon isn't supposed to go off yet, Crocodile yelled in shock before he noticed the king. What did you do? Nothing big, I just pulled away the main pillar. The king laughed as he leant against the wall. This will cause everything to lose balance and we'll both die here. Ha ha ha, you really are a great king. You're ready to give up your own life for your country, but I won't die here. I'll turn all the rocks into sand and escape. Crocodile mocked with laughter. Less than 3 minutes left and with the destruction of this temple everything blocking my way will be gone and this country will be mine. Ha 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 ha, your death will be meaningless, Cobra. With Vivi and Usopp. That's it, Vivi yelled suddenly as Usopp looked at her. Did you find the target? Usopp asked. Yes, there's only one place it can be, Vivi told him. Okay, let's call everyone, Usopp shouted as he pulled his Ginga Pachinko out, Akahebi Boshi. Vivi watched as the sniper of the Straw Hats launched a red flare into the air to attract the attention of their crewmates. All around Alubarna and for one of the crew members outside it the flare instantly got their attention, and they began to make their way towards it. Usopp quickly wrote down a note that told them where they were going as Vivi began to run towards their target. As Usopp turned around, he screamed in shock and horror. Their flare had also attracted the attention of Baroque Works agents. Thinking quickly, the long-nosed sniper pulled out a blackboard and started to run his nails across it, causing everyone close to him and Vivi to cover their ears. Usopp grabbed Vivi by the hand and began to run away from the rapidly recovering agents and towards the target. With Luffy was dodging the crumbling parts of the tomb that was falling from the roof. He had found the entrance and was looked onto Crocodile's aura as he rushed towards the man. He came to a halt as he noticed the large poneglyph and the bleed woman near it. He could hear Crocodile laughing as he turned and looked at the man. "Straw Hat Kid," Crocodile growled in annoyance. "You can't run away this time," Luffy told him as he glared at the man. "Why is he here?" Cobra whispered in shock. "Straw Hat," Miss All Sunday muttered as she stared at the boy. "I guess I'll just have to satisfy you by killing you this time," Crocodile yelled in frustration. "You can try, but you've taken something away from me and haven't returned it yet," Luffy stated as he stared at the Shichibukai. "I took what away? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it trust? Is it life? Or is it the rain?" Crocodile mocked. "Ha ha 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 ha, what do you want me to give back? I've taken a lot of things." "This country," Luffy stated, "you say some funny things." "I'll take this country sooner or later," Crocodile replied snidely. "I'll be the king who rules here." By the time who arrived here, that man's country was gone. Luffy muttered in anger, "I won't let you take her kingdom." "You're nothing but a rookie," Crocodile roared as he watched Luffy run towards him. As Luffy closed the space between himself and Crocodile, he coated his fist with Busashoku haki and used Soru to appear in front of the man. He threw a right punch that connected with Crocodile's cheek and sent the man flying backwards and slammed into the poneglyph. "Crocodile," Luffy roared as he reared his fist back again. "Wait," Crocodile pleaded before Luffy slammed his fist into the Shichibukai's face. "It seems you're serious about finishing me off, so I'll accept you as a dangerous enemy of mine," Crocodile growled out as he took the gold cover off his hook. "What is that?" Luffy questioned as he noticed a purple liquid dripping off the hook. "This is a very poisonous hook," Crocodile gloated. "Poison, huh?" Luffy mused. "You're a pirate too. Pirates' fights always involve life and death, so talking is useless, and once the explosion happens above us, this place will collapse," Crocodile stated as he glared at Luffy. "This will be the last fight, so let's finish it." With Zoro, the green-haired swordsman was running through Alubarna when he noticed a group of marines staring at him with their guns and swords out. He quickly pulled out Wado Ig as the group of marines noticed him. "Look, it's Roronoa Zoro," one of the marines yelled. "Damn it, I didn't think the marines would be here too," Zoro shouted in frustration. "No time to lose." "Why are you here?" another marine yelled. "What are you doing?" a third marine yelled. "That's my line," Zoro yelled at them. "Go north of the next street, you idiot," the marines yelled. "What the hell's going on?" Zoro questioned, with Usopp and Vivi. "Shit," Usopp cursed as he noticed Tashigi and a group of marines charging at him. "What do we do? We're surrounded." "Stop the explosion," Tashigi yelled at the boy, shocking him. "We'll protect you." "What the hell is happening?" Usopp questioned as he watched the marines cut through the Baroque Works agent. "Hurry, Mr. Usopp," Vivi yelled, with Nami and Chopper. "Look, it's Vivi and Usopp," Chopper yelled. "Vivi, where's the bomb?" Nami yelled. "It's inside the clock tower, there is nowhere else it can be," Vivi shouted. "I see, from there you can aim for any place," Chopper muttered. The four people on the ground looked to the sky as they noticed a large figure flying through the sky. The three Straw Hats heard Vivi whisper Pell, and they watched as him circle the building before they heard a gunshot ring out. The Straw Hats flinched as they heard Vivi scream out as they watched Pell plummet towards the ground. "No, how are we supposed to get up there now?" Vivi cried. "There's no stairs," Nami questioned. "It would take too long," Vivi told them. "Hey, Nami Swan." Vivi swam. The group heard Sanji call out. "Huh?" Vivi muttered as she looked up. "What are you doing up there?" "You wrote clock tower on that letter you wrote," Sanji yelled back, "so I climbed up." "On top of the tower, climb the rest of the way," Usopp shouted at Sanji. "I've been looking for you guys for quite a while," Zoro yelled from above Sanji. "You're there too?" Chopper yelled in shock. "I climbed up," Zoro yelled down. "They told me to go north, so I did." "That's good news, keep climbing," Usopp yelled in happiness. "No," Vivi stated, "from where they can't get to the inners. To get there you have to go from the end, break the walls," Usopp stated. "We don't know how sensitive the cannon is," Vivi stated. "We had to go up." "Hee hee hee hee, this is our last job," a woman laughed as the clock opened. Baroque Works Company middle-class worker, Miss Father's Day and Mr. 7 Inches Mr. 7 yelled as the Straw Hats and Vivi noticed the large cannon next to him. Miss Father's Day has purple hair, with a long, thin widow's peak. Over her hair she has a frog-styled hat, with appendages jutting out with white balls on the end. She wears a purple shirt with pink dots that shows off her belly with a yellow button-up shirt underneath, and a blue tie. She has frog-styled sleeves at the end of her shoulders, and white gloves. She wears a purple skirt with pink dots on it, and a frog-style decoration with white balls on the end. She also has frog-themed boots that go up to the middle of her shins. Mr. Seven's body is covered with sevens, including his eyebrows, shoes, and gun. He has puffy bluish-white hair that is styled similar to a helmet. He sports a purple coat that goes down to his ankles, with yellow frills on the shoulders, in of the sleeves, and in the middle part. The coat also has parallel sevens on each side of the chest. Under the coat he wears a dark blue shirt with pink lines on it, and a light blue neckerchief. He wears black trousers with long white socks, and yellow shoes in the shape of sevens. He also has square yellow sunglasses with red lenses. I wonder if we can get a promotion through this, Miss Father's Day thought aloud. What do you think, Mr. Seven? Ha ha ha, that's be awesome Miss Father's Day. Mr. Seven replied, because we're going to use such a big cannon towards the center of the crowd and shoot, so good. It's time, Miss Father's Day yelled as she listened to the clock, ready to ignite it. Oh, ha 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 ha. Understood, Mr. Seven replied in laughter. They're 15 seconds till shooting, aimed at the center. Ignite, Miss Father's Day yelled in glee. What Nami, what are we doing? Usopp yelled with Chopper on his head and Vivi behind the reindeer. We really don't have much time. If we keep this up any longer everybody will die. I know that, Nami yelled back in frustration. Just stand there and don't move, I'm calculating. Don't move, I just don't understand this pose, Usopp shouted. What are you planning? After I did it you'll know, Nami yelled as she pulled out her Clima-tact, Cyclone Tempo. Cyclone Tempo's only for parties, Usopp shouted as he watched the Clima-tact spin through the air. The aim is the clock tower, Nami muttered as she watched her plan fall into place. Ah! Usopp screamed as the Clima-tact shot him through the air. How am I flying? Chopper, go towards Sanji and jump. Nami yelled from the ground as Usopp's eyes bulged. So this is the plan, to keep climbing, Vivi mused in surprise. You know what to do next, Nami yelled out. I can guess, Sanji muttered as he watched Vivi and Chopper close in on him. I guess we just have to try. We have no time think, so this is all up to you Tony, Vivi told the reindeer as Chopper jumped off Usopp's back. Okay, just hold on tighter Vivi, Chopper told the woman as he got close to Sanji who leapt at them. Step on my right foot, Sanji told Chopper as the reindeer did as he was told. Zoro, they're coming for you. Zoro pulled his Wado Ig and Yubashiri its sheaths as he watched Sanji kick the pair through the air and right at him. Zoro watched shot above them and then he jumped towards them. He held his swords out and pushed them against Chopper's feet when he heard something that he was dreading. The Baroque Works agents had found them out. Looky here, Miss Father's Day laughed. Chance isn't easily gained. Change position. Yellow bullet, Mr. Seven muttered as he pointed his gun at the trio below him. Ha ha ha, what a good target. No way, those two are the sniper couple. Vivi yelled out in fear. Zoro, just push us up there, and Tony think of a way to change their course. What, how? Chopper yelled in shock. Zoro pushed the pair through the air as he heard the guns that the Baroque Works agents were pointing at him go off. The swordsman was forced to take the bullet's explosion to the chest as shot towards the ground. The Baroque Works agents then turned their attention to where Zoro launched his two crewmates. They were shocked to only see Chopper, but they fired their guns at him anyway. Chopper quickly changed to his brain point and the bullets went over his head and exploded in the distance. The Baroque Works agents started to look around to find Vivi only to hear the sound of something cutting through the air. They looked up in shock only to see Vivi falling through the air towards them with her peacock slasher spinning through the air. Vivi shot past them as she slashed at the pair. As she landed behind them with a smirk on her face she could hear them mocking her, with a mutter of counter-flow. Her slashers extended behind her and cut the agents across the chest and sent them flying from the clock tower. The princess ran to the ignition cord and quickly cut it off as she let out a sigh of relief. She had stopped the bomb from destroying her country. The relief was soon replaced by anger as she noticed the ticking end clock that was attached to the cannon. The princess quickly ran around to the front of the cannon and started to try to move the cannonball. Crocodile, Vivi screamed in frustration as she couldn't budge the ball. This place holds a lot of memories. It's the Sand Group's secret base. Vivi heard from behind her as she turned around and saw Pell. Really? You were such a noisy child. You gave me a headache almost every day. It's a time bomb, Vivi shouted at the man. It's going to explode soon. Princess Vivi, I am pleased that I was able to serve the Nefeltari family, Pell admitted with a nostalgic smile. It's something from the depths of my heart that I am so proud of. Vivi stared at the man who protected her so much when she was younger in shock, the memory of her flying on his back passing through her mind as she watched him shift into his bird form. She let out a gasp of shock as she watched him pick up the bomb from the cannon with his talons and start to pull it out. She watched with tears in her eyes as she watched Pell pull the bomb out and take off into the air. She forced herself to watch him as he was high above the building before the bomb went off engulfing her guardian and friend in the explosion. The princess was forced to watch as the battle raged on below her even more fierce than before the explosion. Stop fighting, please everyone, stop fighting. Vivi yelled out as tears freely flowed from her eyes. Please stop fighting everyone. Earlier with Luffy charged at Crocodile and attempted to slam his fist into Crocodile only for the man to dodge. As Luffy bought his arm back he had to spin around Crocodile's hook as the man attempted to cut him. Luffy jumped backwards as he started to slowly breath heavier. The boy shoot back at the Shichibukai with Soru as Crocodile held his hand out. The straw hat wearing boy had to use Geppo quickly to jump over the hand and out of Crocodile's grasp, so the man didn't suck the water from his body. From above Crocodile Luffy coated his leg in haki and brought it down towards the Shichibukai. Crocodile leant backwards on the kick just missing his nose as the man once again tried to stab Luffy with his poison hook. The straw hat boy jumped backwards and just escaped getting stabbed by the poison hook. Luffy stared at the man as the tomb kept crumbling around them. As a pillar fell in front of Luffy he used his Kenbunshoku haki to feel Crocodile rushing towards him. The boy pulled his leg back and coated it in haki as kick through the pillar and straight into Crocodile's face. As his kick connected with the Crocodile's face he felt the poison hook cut into his shoulder. As the hook connected Luffy spun around and grabbed it. The boy spun through the air and slammed Crocodile into the and sent him flying backwards. He led to survive me before, Crocodile mocked with a large smirk, but this time you won't survive. The fight is over, and the poison is spreading through your body. You don't understand anything, Luffy told the man. You said I understand nothing, Crocodile asked in surprise. Luffy quickly used Soru and rushed the man. He quickly threw a punch that Crocodile dodged and jumped to the side. Luffy shot off once again and threw another punch that Crocodile dodged. The Straw Hat Boy continued to try and eventually hit the man and forced him wards. Crocodile smiled as he hit the wall and disintegrated into sand only to appear on the other side of the room. You still don't understand, you'll die soon from the poison. Look, your body is already getting numb. Crocodile mocked as he watched Luffy forcing himself to stand. No matter if you win or lose you'll be stuck here anyway. As Crocodile finished talking he had to jump to the side as Luffy kicked the wall the man was leaning against and destroyed it. Crocodile watched as the boy pulled his leg out of the wall and glared at him once again. There isn't even anything you're seeking here. Why would you do this for someone else? That's the point of dying for someone else. Crocodile asked in frustration and anger. Just one or two companions. If you had just let them die you would not have gotten involved in this, you fool. Like I said, you still don't understand, Luffy stated. Vivi, even though she keeps saying no death, she tries to throw her own life away to save everyone. If I left her she would have died. She would have died because of you guys. You don't understand, that's why I told you to let those kinds of people die without bothering you, Crocodile told the Straw Hat Boy. Luffy grunted as he shot at Crocodile once again. He threw a right which was dodged and then attempted to kick the man as Crocodile jumped to the side. Luffy went to rush the man once more before his legs gave out and he collapsed to the ground. Ha 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 ha, keep talking. Your body can't move anymore. Crocodile laughed as Luffy tried to force himself up from the ground. There is no return, this is the end of you. Luffy's eyes widened in anger as he heard Crocodile laugh at him and mock his friends. The boy continued to try and force himself up before he once again collapsed to the floor. What about now, do you still think you can win? Crocodile mocked as he laughed at Luffy. No matter how much love you give your companions, no matter how much you block my path, if you don't win this fight everything you've done doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you die, you're a loser. I don't care about amateur pirates like you. Many worthless pirates like you are already dead. The pair felt the ground shake as an explosion rang out overhead. The tomb crumbled more as parts of it fell through Crocodile. The Shichibukai laughed as the ground shook and Cobra let out a gasp of surprise. It's over, Crocodile laughed as he threw his hands into the air. As long as she hasn't given up, Luffy thought as he forced himself to his feet, then neither will I. Crocodile looked at the Straw Hat Boy in shock as he forced himself to his feet. As the boy forced himself to his feet he glared at Crocodile and began to creep forwards. If it's just you against me, Luffy stated as he spat up a glob of blood, then you can't defeat me. You can barely speak those words, Crocodile mocked. Hey, that looks pseudo-pathetic pirate like you. How can you still say such things? Because I will become the Pirate King, Luffy declared as he stood upright. If you really understood how harsh the sea is you wouldn't say things like that. I said it before. Weaklings like you are all over the sea, Crocodile shouted as he rushed forwards. Once you realize the level of pirates in this world, you will stop having such foolish dreams. Luffy stood completely still as Crocodile rushed him. As the man brought his hook towards Luffy the Straw Hat Pirate lifted his foot and caught the casing of the hook. He quickly slammed his foot to the ground and shattered it as he glared at Crocodile. I'll surpass you, Luffy declared. Crocodile glared at the boy as Luffy brought his haki-encased fist back and punched Crocodile in the stomach causing the man to spit up blood. As the man hunched over Luffy coated his leg in haki and kicked the man in the head knocking him to the side. Luffy jumped into the air and once again coated his fist in haki and brought it down on Crocodile's head slamming him into the ground. The poison from the scorpion should be working right now, Crocodile thought in shock as he spat up more blood. How does this brat still have so much power? "I don't know where you came from," Crocodile roared as he forced himself to his feet and a blade appeared from where his hook was. "Do you know who I am? You mean nothing to me. I told you I'll surpass you," Luffy yelled as he slammed his fist into Crocodile's stomach once more, sending the man flying upwards. "You will disappear with this temple right now," Crocodile yelled in anger. "Sables. Pesado." Luffy watched as a small sandstorm formed in Crocodile's hand and jumped backwards as the man threw it towards him. Luffy watched as the small sandstorm grew larger and began to tear everything up that it got near. Thinking quickly, Luffy took to the air with Geppo as he rushed towards the laughing crocodile. "Desert La Espada," Crocodile yelled as Luffy reared back his arm. The Straw Hat Boy noticed the sand blades that Crocodile launched towards him. The boy quickly coated his hand in haki and pushed through the attack, allowing it to cut his chest as he punched Crocodile in the stomach. The punch launched Crocodile backwards and into the roof as Luffy followed him. The boy unsheathed his Stormbringer as he started to fall backwards. "Kasaku Kuramazanbaredo," Luffy yelled as he slashed his blade forwards. A red compressed blade of air shot out and rushed towards Crocodile, cutting the man and sending him flying through the roof. The Shichibukai was flying through the air and away from the battlefield as Luffy felt the man's aura weaken and signify that he had passed out. As soon as Luffy felt the aura of Crocodile weaken, a smile appeared on his face as his eyes closed and he fell back towards the ground. He knew he had won. He finally beat the Shichibukai. "How is it possible? That many layers of rock?" Cobra muttered in shock as Luffy hit the ground. "Hey, are you alright?" Cobra sat up and began to crawl over to the boy who had saved his country. The boy that Vivi had bought back had beaten Crocodile. A small smile appeared on the king's face as he looked down at the hero of his country. "I will have to thank you," Cobra told Luffy. "Shishi, no need for it," Luffy replied with a large smile as he watched the tune crumple more. With the rest of the Straw Hats, "Hey, look at that," Sanji yelled as noticed a figure flying through the air. "Crocodile," the Straw Hats yelled in shock. "Although we don't know where he came out of," Sanji stated as he watched the Shichibukai fly through the air. "That doesn't matter," Usopp yelled in glee, "because now we know that he won." The Straw Hats yelled together. "There are no more enemies, so please stop the bloodshed." Vivi yelled from the clock tower, "So please everyone, stop this fighting." As Vivi was making her pleas from the clock tower, she felt a drop of liquid hit her face. She looked to the sky and a smile appeared on her face. It was finally raining again. The rain was falling over the battlefield and the battle was slowly stopping in certain places. With Koza, "Hey Koza," Koza said, "do you understand now?" "Yes," the man responded from near his leader. "The war is over," Koza yelled. With Tashigi, "What?" Tashigi whispered as she felt the rain hit her face. "Rain. The wildness has really stopped," Tashigi thought as she looked around. The people holding the weapons are hesitating. Tashigi was broken out of her thoughts as Crocodile crashed down to the ground near her. A small smile appeared on her fat cat meant. With the Straw Hats, "Please stop fighting," Vivi begged from the clock tower. "The rain is starting to make it clear again," a rebel said from near the Straw Hats. "Vivi's voice is being heard," Nami said in happiness. "Princess Vivi," a rebel said in surprise. "Is the princess?" a royal guard muttered. "Vivi," a rebel gasped in surprise. "I thought the princess wasn't here," another rebel shouted. "Mr. Crocodile," a rebel yelled in shock as he saw the man on the ground. "Why is he down here?" another rebel yelled. "Mr. Crocodile," Usopp yelled in outrage. "Let me tell you what he's done." "Just watch and wait," Sanji told the sniper. "The rain right now will fall again like before," Vivi yelled to the armies, "because all the nightmares have ended." "Wait," a rebel yelled, "the nightmare has not ended yet. We saw with our own eyes what the king has done." "Right," another rebel yelled. Koza was attacked as well. "What the royal army did cannot be forgiven with an apology," another rebel yelled in outrage. "How do you say such things to people who have lost their lives?" "Put your weapons down, royal army," a bleeding Chaka yelled. "General Chaka," the royal army yelled in shock. "Chaka," Vivi whispered in shock. "You put your weapons down to rebel army," a voice yelled. "Mr. Igaram," the rebels yelled in shock. "Captain," the royals yelled in surprise. "Igaram," Vivi shouted in happiness. "Igaram, you came back safely," Chaka shouted in glee. "He's the weird guy from Whiskey Peak," Zoro yelled. "He survived," Nami screamed in disbelief. "He's the kid from Nanohana," a rebel yelled. "The one who got attacked by the royal army," another man stated. "No, someone else attacked me. Listen to me everyone, I saw it," the kid shouted. "The royal army that attacked in Nanohana were just fakes and the king was a fake as well. It was all a trap." "Right, this battle was planned from the beginning," another voice told everyone. "Koza," the rebels said. "Everything about this incident, I will now clearly explain," Igaram yelled. "Now put down your weapons." Vivi rushed through the clock tower with a smile on her face as she heard the weapons hitting the ground and the fighting stop. She pushed open the door of the clock tower and began to look around for the Straw Hats only to notice that they were missing. "Where's everybody?" Vivi asked as she continued to look around. Unknown to Vivi, the Straw Hats had left the battlefield the moment that the fighting had stopped and were now looking for their captain. "Can't you walk right yet?" Zoro asked in annoyance. "Look, I have a disease that will kill me if I walk," Usopp told the swordsman. "Fine, stay there," Zoro muttered as he pulled Usopp across the ground. "Alright, fine," Usopp yelled, "will you stop pulling me?" "Oh, there he is," Sanji stated as they noticed the king with Luffy on his back. "Who are you?" Cobra asked as he stared at the roughed-up group. That guy on your back," Sanji said as he scratched his head. "He's one of our friends, thanks for carrying him, let's switch." "So you're the group of pirates that Vivi thought back," Cobra replied with a sigh of relief. "Who are you, mister?" Sanji asked. "Everyone," Vivi yelled as she caught up to the group. "Father." "Father?" Sanji yelled in shock. "You're Vivi's dad." "You're the king?" Zoro asked as he stared at the man. "I thought I was dead for sure, but this kid saved me," Cobra told the group after he told them about the fight. "Even after fighting Crocodile, he carried 2 people to the surface. He has such unbelievable power." "So does that mean the poison is gone already?" Usopp asked as he looked at the passed-out Luffy. It should be neutralized," Chopper stated. "But his wounds should be treated," Vivi told them, "so should all of yours." "Vivi, stop bothering with us. Hurry up and go," Zoro told her as he sat down and leant against a wall. Vivi muttered as she looked at the swordsman. "Back to the palace," Zoro stated. "Right, you finally stopped the uprising," Usopp said as he crossed his arms. "Without you and the king showing up, it just won't seem like the end." "That's right," Vivi replied with a smile, "let's all go." "Vivi, I think you should know we're pirates," Sanji stated as he put a cigarette in his mouth. "We don't like to get involved in politics." "I'm hungry," Chopper complained. "Can we go to the palace instead?" Nami asked. "I'm about to collapse." With a nod, Cobra and Vivi began to walk back towards the palace to talk to their citizens. The Straw Hats watched the father and daughter walking away from them with large smiles on their faces. As soon as the pair left their view, the group collapsed and fell straight into unconsciousness. They had done what they wanted and helped their friend save their country. With Tashigi. "Yes," Tashigi spoke into the Den Den Mushi. "I understand, Captain Smoker." "So it was all done by Crocodile?" A rebel said in disbelief. "He was the root of all the bad things." "How could that be?" another rebel asked. "It's so hard to believe." "Marines," a royal army member yelled as the Marines surround Crocodile. "We just captured Baroque Works' rainfall ship. It contains massive amounts of dance powder. The secret leader of the criminal organization Baroque Works, one of the Shichibukai, Crocodile," Tashigi declared to everyone around them. "With the powers granted to me by the world government, I declare you for abusing your installed title, stripped of the rights granted to you." With Koza. "We have done something that can't be forgiven," Koza stated to the crowd around him. "Leader," Vivi muttered before she felt a hand rest on her shoulder. "Of course I regret the beginning, of course I cry and feel sad," the king stated as he walked towards Koza. "We have lost so much, yet gained nothing." "Your Majesty," the crowd called out in surprise. "King," Koza muttered. "No, we need to walk forwards, no matter who your enemy was, as long as we know that the war is over," Cobra shouted. "No one can declare the past into null. No one. We will reunite through this war and do our best to live on." The crowd looked on with tears flowing from their eyes as their king addressed them. They knew the kingdom would move past this war and maybe become closer due to it. "We will rebuild the Alabasta kingdom," Cobra yelled. With Smoker, "What's this rain? You couldn't have," a female voice stated in shock. "Did you use dance powder?" "You idiot, I know the difference between doing right and wrong," Smoker replied. "I wouldn't use something that Alubarna has outlawed. Why would I go against it?" "Sorry, Hina has wronged. Let's talk about something else." "The White Hunter," Hina said. "How did you become so fat?" Hina is a tall and slim woman with straight, waist-length pink hair that she wears in a middle part. She has dark brown eyes and wears red lipstick. She wears a burgundy-purple 2-piece suit over a white blouse, as well as dark brown shoes and a pair of dark gloves, and also has a long white marine jacket draped over her shoulders like a cape with light blue epaulettes. "Mind your own business," Smoker growled in annoyance. "Don't you think you just did something a bit harsh, just randomly using my best troops?" Hina told him. "Just to search a ship for you." "I'm surprised." Hina is surprised. "Hey, don't say that, it was for a fellow marine," Smoker replied dismissively. "You're always like that. I feel for Tashigi," Hina stated. "HMPH, Smoker sighed. "Whatever, just take this ship back to the main base." "Why?" Hina questioned. "Take Crocodile from Tashigi, who's bring him here too," Smoker told her. "Hey, what gives you the right to order me around?" Hina asked as Smoker pulled a coin out. "Heads." "You lose," Smoker stated as he flipped the coin. "Geez, you never change," Hina muttered. Hina is disappointed at. "Enough, I know it myself. No need to remind me," Smoker stated dismissively. With Tashigi. "What?" a marine yelled in shock. "This is an order," Tashigi stated. Sergeant, this is a chance we cannot lose, the Marif. You will not touch those people, Tashigi shouted. Will you disobey a direct command for me? Why they are right there, the same Marine shouted as he pointed at the straw hats. We will get promoted for that. With Vivi, leader, Vivi muttered as Kozo was being stretchered away. Your wounds, are they all right? Just don't die because Todo is still at Yuba. Vivi, you never stop caring, do you? Kozo whispered through the pain. Yuba. I don't know how that will turn out, but my stubborn dad won't die, and I've inherited his stubbiness. When my wounds are tended to, I'll go back to Yuba. Just reporting to my dad, so don't worry. The next day with Tashigi, Captain Smoker, Miss Hina, a Marine yelled, Sergeant Tashigi is here. Tashigi, nice to see you, Hina stated as she walked off the ship. Sorry, I'm a bit tired so I'm going to rest, Tashigi told the woman as she walked past them and noticed Smoker. Captain Smoker, I'm back. Ah, good work, Smoker told the woman. I've heard about the Straw Hat Group already. Sorry, not only did I help the pirates, I even let them escape under my eyes, Tashigi admitted. As a Marine I should be punished for my actions. Why apologize? Smoker asked as he stared at Tashigi. Didn't you think it was justice? No, it's because I could only do that, Tashigi admitted with tears in her eyes. Even knowing where the enemy was, I could only do as I was told. Knowing the time the cannon would shoot, I could only help them from behind, and this is not the justice I know. Tashigi, some people have as much power as I do, yet they're much higher ranked than I am. It's because they know that if they can't go up in this world of sea, they can only float downwards, Smoker stated as he watched Tashigi walk up the ramp. Go forwards or drown. Why did you come along? Sorry, I want to rest now, Tashigi muttered as she walked past Smoker. Stupid, Smoker muttered in disappointment. Why don't you do something besides crying about it? Why don't you get stronger? I will, Tashigi screamed with tears freely flowing. If you have half of her, well then it's all so easy, Smoker told the rest of the Marines. All right, bring the prisoner on board. Captain Smoker. A Marine called from the cabin. Phone call from the main base. This is main base. A voice came across the Den Mushi once Smoker picked it up. Is this Captain Smoker? It is, Smoker growled. In regard to your capture of Crocodile, the government officials will award you and Tashigi with medals. The voice told them as Smoker glared at the phone. Reward? Smoker questioned. Wait, we didn't defeat Crocodile, didn't I tell you? Also your ranks will increase by 1, the voice stated ignoring him. Therefore. Enough. Listen, the guys who beat Crocodile and Baroque works, Smoker yelled in anger, were the Straw Hat Pirates. Smoker, it's useless, Hina yelled at the man. The government decided to cover this whole thing up. Do you think the government would tell the world that the ones who saved Alabasta are a group of wanted pirates? So we invite you two to the award ceremony, the voice told the annoyed Smoker. Are you joking with me? Smoker roared. Smoker, just accept the award instead of pirates, Hina yelled at the man. Why go against the government? Who said we beat Crocodile? Because we couldn't, and that's why my subordinate is crying right now. Smoker yelled in anger. I've had enough. Just tell those high-ranking bastards. Yes, the voice asked. Smoker, Hina yelled. Tell them to go eat. Sit, Smoker stated. This is real justice. 3 days later with Chopper and Vivi. This is an outstanding combination, really superb, very amazing, a man said as he watched Chopper. Where did you gain these skills from? Tony is an outstanding doctor from the Drum Kingdom, Vivi told the man. What, you came from the country that used to be really famous for its doctor? The man said in shock. I am actually making progress, even though I've been a doctor for 40 years, but even I still don't have such skill. You guys are too noisy, don't forget about me, Chopper yelled as he pulled a seat back and pushed some tea across. You guys go elsewhere, will you bastards? Can we take this as have your tea and watch quietly? The doctor asked Vivi. I think we can, Vivi laughed. Whoa, really outstanding, the doctor said as he drank his tea. Quiet, Chopper yelled. With Usopp and Sanji. This country is really strong, Usopp admitted as he watched the people fix up the place. Because the princess is cute, Sanji stated. Does that matter? Usopp asked as he looked at the chef. It does, Sanji said. Bastard, what's with this big hole that goes through every house? Usopp asked. It really looks like it's been kicked through. Hey Usopp, there is something over there, Sanji said in hopes of distracting the sniper. With Zoro, I must concentrate, Zoro thought as he had his arms out to the side with boulders on them. I must be able to pull out that power again, or I can't think of myself stronger. With Nami, every book seems to be very interesting, Nami admitted to the king. Can I really have them all? No problem, I've already read them all, Cobra told the orange-haired woman. Thanks, Nami replied as she continued to read the book. With Chaka, I already told you I don't know, don't you understand? Chaka told the group of Marines, now go away. It won't do any good if you're lying, a Marine yelled at Chaka. Harboring pirates is a serious crime. I don't know anything about pirates, Chaka told the group as Sanji and Usopp walked past him. Hey thanks, Sanji said. Back already, did you find the thing you needed? Chaka asked. There's a lot, Sanji admitted as he kept walking. With the kind of condition this city is in, it's a bit of a surprise we could get so much. Yeah, true, Usopp replied as they entered the palace. Can you prove that those pirates are here? Chaka asked the Marines. Do you think he's awake yet? Usopp asked Sanji when they entered the palace. I don't know, but when he wakes up this place is going to get noisy, Sanji replied. Ah, I slept well, Luffy yelled as he sat up and Sanji and Usopp entered the room. Huh, where's my hat and my breakfast? This guy is really noisy when he wakes up, Sanji groaned as he sat down. Also it's dinner time, not breakfast time. Your hat is just there, a guard found it for you, Usopp pointed out. Wow, thanks, Luffy replied as he put his hat on his head, and my bag. It's next to your bed, Vivi told Luffy, it's good to see you in such high spirits. I'm always like this, Luffy questioned as he stared at the woman. You idiot, Nami stated, you had a high fever and you were in serious condition. Really, Luffy muttered, well thank you guys. What, Luffy, you're awake, Zoro said as he walked into the room. Oh Zoro, long time no see, Luffy replied with a smile. Ah, hey, Chopper yelled when he saw Zoro, don't tell me you went out to train again. What's wrong, it's my problem, Zoro stated as he looked at the reindeer. No is no, I'm the ship doctor, Chopper yelled at the man, don't take off the bandage. It's hard to move that way, Zoro told him. It's so that you don't move, Chopper yelled at the man. You've missed out on a fair bit for 3 days, Usopp laughed at his captain. 3 days, Luffy yelled in shock. I slept for 3 days, that means I missed 15 meals. How come you can count those kind of things so fast, Nami asked in disbelief. And he counted 5 meals a day, Usopp muttered. I already asked for dinner to be prepared so don't worry, Vivi told the group. The captain has just woken up, dinner will be ready in 30 minutes, will you all please wait, a strange woman asked. It will be better if we all ate together. Hey, Luffy yelled in shock, what, uncle you're still alive? So you're into these things? Zoro asked in disbelief. You all misunderstand, she is Terracotta, Vivi told the group, she's Igaram's wife and the you for looking after Princess Vivi and Igaram, Terracotta stated. Terracotta is a large woman with curly blonde hair and she looks almost identical to Igaram. Terracotta wears a dark red tunic, with an orange lining, that has a white stripe. Under her tunic is a light blue shirt with white buttons. She also wears bright red lipstick. There should be a limit on how similar a kid can be, Zoro muttered as he stared at the woman. I understand one of you eats a lot before dinner, Terracotta said as a man pushed a massive pile of fruit over to Luffy. Please enjoy this fruit first. I understand, Luffy replied as the fruit seemingly disappeared. I'll have 3 days worth of food. Don't worry, I have worked for 30 years. The woman bragged. I won't disappoint your appetite, just eat until you're full. Now, we have a few things to do first, Luffy said in a strangely serious tone. Firstly, Vivi, do you have a devil fruit encyclopedia? Do you want to do it now? Vivi questioned as the boy nodded. Good, I have it here. Why would you need that? Nami asked as Luffy picked his bag up. Because of this, Luffy told her as he pulled a devil fruit from his bag. I found it on Little Garden. Are you going to eat it? Usopp asked as he stared at the fruit. If I like its abilities, Luffy replied as he opened the book and started to go through it. The Straw Hats watched their captain on the edge of their seats as their captain was flipping through the pages. It took most of the book until Luffy's eyes widened and a massive smile appeared on his face. The ball picked up the fruit and with a smile on his face ate it whole. Luffy grimaced as the taste hit him. He quickly rolled off his bed as his body turned black. It took a little, but the boy's body went back to normal. What the hell was that? Nami yelled in shock. A logia, Zoro and Sanji muttered in disbelief. The yummy no am. Luffy told his navigator, I've become a darkness man. So you're even stronger, Usopp muttered. It'll take a bit to get used to, Luffy admitted. Now on to the second point, how did your battles go? Luffy sat back down on the bed as his crew began to tell them about their fights. He was impressed with all of them, the resilience they showed was amazing. A large smile worked its way onto his face during Sanji and Zoro's fights as he heard about them both unlocking one color of haki each. As they finished telling their stories they looked at him and he knew they wanted to hear about his battle, so he told them everything. He could feel the glare of Vivi as he told her of his poisoning and the shock from his crew as he revealed that Miss All Sunday had saved him, so he saved her life. By the end of their tale there was only 15 minutes until dinner. Vivi, can you get us a transponder snail? Luffy asked as he took his hat off. I have a call to make. Already, Nami asked as she noticed Luffy looking at the piece of paper attached to his hat. Is that who I think it is? We're going to call Whitebeard, Luffy told her as she turned white, so I need you all to keep quiet. Got it, Sanji replied as Vivi entered the room. Vivi handed the Den Mushi over to Luffy as he started to dial the number that Ace had given to him. The crew watched with bated breath as the snail dialed and was picked up by somebody. You've reached the ship of the Whitebeard pirates Yoi. A voice rang out. Who's calling Yoi? Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy told the man. I'm calling to talk to Whitebeard. Ace's brother, huh? The voice stated, I'll go get Popsy. So you're Ace's little brother. Another voice came across the snail. What does a brat like you want? Did Ace talk to you? Luffy asked while cursing his brother. He did, and while some of us didn't like being allies with a bunch of brats, the papers shut them up, Whitebeard stated. So we're allies? Luffy questioned. For now at least, Whitebeard admitted. What did you want to talk about? The Pirate King, Luffy stated. I hope you realize that I'm going to be the Pirate King. Fine, Whitebeard replied. I don't want the title anyway. I'll see you when I get to the new world then, Luffy stated as he heard the laughter from the other side of the snail. I'll see you then, brat, Whitebeard replied before the man hung up. We're allies with a Yonko, Nami screamed as Usopp turned white. So, how long until dinner? Luffy asked as the crew face planted. Later, this country's best bath, Cobra told the crew. It's usually only used in the rainy season. This is great, Usopp yelled as he took his towel off and ran towards the bath. I'll be there first. No I will, Luffy yelled as he ran beside the man. Are you guys happy? Sanji asked as he watched the pair fall over. That's the best meal I've ever had, Cobra admitted as he sat in the bath. I thought of a quiet and tidy meal, but wherever all of you are, it will always turn into a party. Hey, Zoro, look we can do training, Luffy yelled as he stood under the pouring water with Usopp. What training? Zoro replied as he stared at the pair. Hey, where is the girls' bath? Sanji asked Igaram. As if I would tell you, Igaram yelled, Princess Vivi is there. It's over that wall, Cobra told the cook. Your Majesty, you crook, Igaram shouted. Whoa, where are your manners? Usopp asked the man. With Nami and Vivi. This feel good, Nami said as Vivi cleaned her back. I wonder if there is a ship equipped with such a bath. There must be one, the sea is so vast, Vivi replied with a smile. There are giants and dinosaurs. A snowy country where sakura blossoms bloom. There is still so much to see. Nami chuckled as she turned to stare at the embarrassed girl. Let's swap. Thank you, Vivi replied as she swapped places and noticed the men and eyelashes looking over the barrier. Hey, what are you doing? Those guys, happiness punch, Nami yelled as she stood up and revealed her chest to the men that shot off the barrier. That'll be 100,000 each. Nami, Vivi shouted in disbelief. You're still thinking. We're think of leaving today, Nami admitted to the woman. Huh, really? Vivi muttered. We don't have any reason to stay here anymore because Luffy recovered. Nami told her. The Marines are guarding the coast and our ship's in danger. Other side of the bath. Thank you all, the king said. Perverted old man, the Straw Hats replied. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the country. Cobra told them as he bowed to the pirates. Hey, is it alright for you to do that as a king? Zoro asked as he stared at the man. Cobra, your majesty, this is a big problem. Igaram yelled in shock. Kings shouldn't bow their heads. Igaram, status exists if you wear your clothes, but here in the bath, the king told the man, there is no naked king. I'm speaking as a father with the heart of a citizen, to thank everyone. Later, tonight, Usopp questioned. Yes, Nami replied. We're leaving, Chopper muttered. I think this is the right time to go, Zoro stated. What do you think? Yeah, the Marines have started to move, Sanji told the group. It's up to you, Luffy, Nami said to him. I would like another meal, but I guess it's time to go, Luffy admitted as they had a knock on the door. Come in. You got a phone call, a nervous guard muttered, from someone called Little Bon Bon. Hey, it's me, Giahahaha, Okama, the voice yelled. Hang up, Sanji muttered with dark eyes. What do you want? Luffy growled across the phone. What, isn't this Straw Hat Luffy? You're still alive. Okama is so happy, the voice yelled. Now look, don't call me Mr. 2. The Marines may have tapped the phone and I'll get into a lot of trouble. Get to the point, Zoro stated in frustration. Oh yeah, your boat, I took it, the man replied. Don't joke around, Luffy yelled. Where are you now? Aboard your ship, the man replied. This Okama pisses me off, Luffy growled. Wait, listen to me first, aren't we friends? The man asked. Later the night, why did you two yelled from the Going Merry? Long time no see, you're all thinking about me. Oh, here we are, Nami said to the duck she was riding. You can take off the luggage now, thanks for everything, Usopp told his duck. This is far enough, thanks, Chopper stated to his duck. Careful on your way back, Luffy told the duck. Give my regards to the king and the curly-haired dude, Luffy yelled out as the ducks ran away. Take care. The rest of the crew yelled. Goodbye, if we're destined to meet again, we will. Mr. 2 cried. No, that's not right, wait a second. What the hell, Sanji said with a scowl. You still ask, geez, Mr. 2 complained. What's this, old friends meeting, and you don't say hi? Who's friends with you? Luffy asked as he glared at the man. You're an enemy. Wah, that time was my mistake, Mr. admitted. HMPH, forget about it, that's in the past. Move, Zoro stated as he walked past the Okama. Baroque Works is disbanded, Mr. 2 stated, "We're not your enemy anymore." "Even if we're not your enemy anymore, I don't have to let you aboard," Luffy told Mr. 2. And that's what I get for a favor," Mr. 2 complained. "What are you talking about?" Luffy asked in annoyance. "Think about it," the Okama told them, "if I didn't move this ship away, what would have happened to it?" "Probably confiscated by the Marines," Nami admitted. "Not probably, certainly, it nearly got taken away. Don't you know the condition around here?" Mr. 2 yelled. "It's totally covered by Marines. Understand, totally cover. Not even a goose would be allowed to escape." "So you took the Mary, so the Marines wouldn't get it," Luffy summarized. "Really?" Usopp asked. "Why?" Chopper questioned. "Because we are friends, aren't we?" Mr. 2 stated with a smile. "So, you're really a good guy," Luffy shouted as him. Usopp and Chopper danced with the man. "Is there any more luggage?" Nami asked Sanji. "No, this is the last one," Sanji replied. "So in short, it's because of the Marines that you weren't able to get away," Zoro told the Okama. "That's why you came for help, right?" "That's right," Mr. 2 yelled. "This is the time that enemies should come together and out of the situation." "Really?" Nami asked in distrust. "We thank you all for the offer," was here from Bon Clay's ship. "Who cares about you all?" Zoro shouted at them. The next day. "Damn it," Luffy roared as he sliced through another iron spike that was shot at them. "Fire the cannon, Usopp." "We can't afford to let any more of these spikes hit to Mary," Sanji yelled as he kicked on away from the ship. "If we take much more damage, we're going to sink." Luffy let a smirk work its way onto his face as he heard the cannon fire from the Going Merry. He watched as the cannonball flew through the air and hit one of the marine ships in the mast. The Straw Hat Boy nearly broke down into laughter as the ship that Usopp hit fell sideways and took out the ship next to it as well. "Mr. 2 Bon Clay," Luffy heard one of the man's men call. "We've got bad news, Black Cage Hina is here." "Who's that?" Luffy asked as he landed on the deck of Mr. 2's ship. "She's the captain of the Marines around her," Mr. 2 told Luffy. "She's really strong, we better run." "Yes, Mr. 2 Bon Clay," the Okama's crew yelled. "What are you doing? Let's go," Mr. 2 yelled when he noticed the Straw Hats hadn't moved. "If we go forwards we will sink." "You can escape," Luffy told the Okama. "We had to go straight." "But why?" Mr. 2 yelled in shock. "Because we have a meeting to make," Nami replied, thinking about her last talk with Vivi. "Why would you risk so much for a meeting?" Mr. 2 asked as he stared at the crew in disbelief. "We're going there to pick up a friend," Luffy told Mr. 2 as the Okama started to cry. "Fine then, listen up crew," Mr. 2 yelled. "Yes, Mr. 2 Bon Clay," the crew yelled back. "If we run away now, we're not worthy of being Okama," Mr. 2 shouted with tears in his eyes. "If we're not allowed to sacrifice ourselves for our friends, we wouldn't rest in peace. So listen up Straw Hats, I've got a plan." The Straw Hats' eyes widened in shock as Mr. 2 told them his plan, and no amount of arguing would stop him from going through with it. So only minutes later the Going Merry continued on its path as Mr. 2 and his crew disguised themselves as the Straw Hats and headed for the gap in the formation. The Marines quickly surrounded Mr. 2's crew and the Straw Hats swore they could hear the shouts of disbelief once Mr. 2 and his crew gave themselves up. "We'll never forget you, Bon Bon," Luffy cried with Usopp, Chopper and even Sanji. 30 minutes later. "I recently went on an adventure," Vivi said over the loudspeaker as the Going Merry sat still at their meeting point. "It was an adventure over deep oceans and dark tides in search of hope. The ocean I met on the day I left was vast and full of unbelievable islands which hold many things. There were creatures I had never seen, incredible sceneries and the sound of the waves. They are sometimes so peaceful, as if they were trying to cover up all the trouble around us. But sometimes they were so violent, as if they were laughing at the weak. But in the darkness and the storms I found a tiny ship. That ship pushed me forwards and told me, 'Can you see those lights? That ship will always find its way out of darkness.' It was truly an unbelievable ship. It's as if it was dancing, sailing through gigantic waves. Even though it seems they're just drifting, they only go forwards, even going against the wind. In the end it will raise its finger and say, 'Look, there's the light.' Even if history will make this light seem like an illusion, they will always be real to me." "Did you hear that?" Zoro asked. That speech right now was definitely from Vivi. "It's the ceremony at Alubarna," Sanji stated with a sigh. "Seems like she decided not to come." "It just sounds like Vivi, that's all," Luffy said, stubbornly refusing to accept the truth. "Let's go, it's almost 12 already," Zoro told Luffy. "She will come, I know it," Luffy yelled in frustration. "She's definitely over there, let's dock and look for her." "Bad news," Usopp yelled, "the Marines have caught up to us." "How many are there?" Zoro asked. "Too many, let's sail now," Usopp replied, full speed ahead. "Forget it, Luffy," Sanji told Luffy. "She is different from the Vivi that was with us." "Everyone," the crew heard a voice yell. "Vivi," Luffy shouted in joy. "Karoo," Chopper shouted. "Look, she came," Luffy shouted. "Let's turn back," Usopp yelled. "Vivi," Sanji screamed, love-struck. "The Marines are coming," Nami yelled with a smile on her face. "I'm here to say goodbye," Vivi yelled. What did she say? Luffy questioned as he saw Karoo pass a speaker to Vivi. I can't go with you. Thank you for what you've done for. Vivi's voice came over the speaker again. Even though I still want to go with you. But right now I really love this country, so I can't come along. Even though I want to stay here. But if there is one day where we meet each other again, will you take me as a friend? Luffy opened his mouth and closed it as he heard the Marines yelled out at the princess, questioning her relationship with the Straw Hats. The Straw Hat Boy looked at his crew and nodded as they turned their back to the princess as tears flowed from her eyes. The crew unbandaged their left arms and threw them into the air, revealing the X on each of their arms, the mark of friendship that each would hold forever. Let's sail, Luffy yelled as the Going Merry picked up speed. Later, those Marines, they're not chasing us anymore, Luffy stated. It seems we've lost them. What's wrong with you guys? Zoro asked as he stared at the rest of the crew. We're lonely, the crew said as one with tears flowing from their eyes. Don't cry anymore, geez, still not accepting her leaving, Zoro muttered. I knew that I should have dragged her on board. Whoa, you're a barbarian, Chopper stated in disbelief as the rest of the cry insulted the swordsman. I understand, just cry for all I care, Zoro replied as he brushed them off. At last, we're out, Toys said as the crew stared at the woman and screamed, good work. You're here for revenge, Zoro stated as he jumped back and drew Sandai Kitetsu, come on. Why are you here? Nami screamed in terror. Ah, pretty lady, Sanji yelled with hearts in his eyes. Enemy on board, Usopp shouted in a fearful tone, enemy on board. Ah, Chopper screamed as he failed at hiding behind the mast, who is she? What, it's you, Luffy said as he cocked his head to the side, you're not dead. Don't point such dangerous things at me, Miss All Sunday stated as arms formed on Zoro and Nami and knocked their weapons from their arms, didn't I tell you that before? How long have you been on board? Nami asked as she screamed at the woman. I was here the whole time in the cabin, reading a book and taking a bath, Miss All Sunday replied as she began to set up a chair. These clothes are yours, right? Lend them to me. What are you doing, Baroque works? Nami screamed. Monkey D. Luffy, the woman said as she stared at Luffy. The boy replied with his head still cocked sideways. You didn't forget what you said, did you? Miss All Sunday asked. Ah, Luffy, what did you say to this beautiful woman? Sanji yelled as he shook Luffy. Please leave the ship, Usopp yelled through a megaphone he somehow acquired. I didn't say anything to you, Luffy replied. No, I remember clearly, you better take responsibility, the woman stated as she sat down. You're really weird, Luffy told the woman, what do you want? Let me join your crew, Miss All Sunday replied with a smile as the crew screamed in shock. It's you who made me go on when I wanted to die. That's all your fault and I have nowhere else to go, so let me stay on the ship. Oh, if it's like that then there's nothing I can do, Luffy replied, it's okay. Luffy, the rest of the crew screamed in shock. Don't worry, Luffy told the crew, she isn't as bad as you all think. It didn't take long after that for Miss All Sunday, now revealed as Nico Robin, to win the trust of most of the crew. Sanji was already making her food. She had given Nami a jewel and was currently using her devil fruit ability to keep Usopp and Chopper entertained as Luffy sat on the figurehead of the Going Merry. He held his hand out and focused his powers once more. It took a while but the black returned from before. With a smile Luffy brought his hand up and felt the power run down his arm. This is an unusual situation. One of the Gorosei stated as he looked down at the paper in his hand. Why would such a powerful figure take notice of a rookie pirate crew? Not only that, another of the Gorosei said, he's gone out of his way to announce this group as his allies. And of course Big News Morgan couldn't let such an opportunity slip by him, a man said with annoyance in his voice. He's been posting about it 3 times a day. Plus this crew has a level of strength they could not reach alone, a fourth man said. There are reports of the captain using at least one form of haki as well as some of the rokushiki. We need to let the world know about the threat that this small crew already poses, the last man in the room stated, but we have to do it in a way that doesn't track back to us. We have to make sure that Whitebeard doesn't think we ordered it to happen. What path are they on? The first man asked. From what we can gather they will be going through Skypia if they try that, then go to Long Ring Long Land and then go to Water 7. Cypher Pole 9 are still in Water 7 inches, one of the men stated. Let them know to keep an eye out for the Straw Hats. Aokji's around the Long Ring Long Land, another of the old men said. That's too noticeable, a man stated. CP9 will know how to do it silently. Then we agree on that, the man replied, but before that we should release bounty posters. What do you suggest? One of the men asked with a raised eyebrow. We should give out 3 of them, the man replied. The first one would be for Straw Hat Luffy, the second one for Pirate Hunter Zoro, and the last one for. With the Straw Hats, is it raining? Usopp asked the crew as he held his hand out. It's not rain, Sanji replied on confusion, something is falling from the sky. Huh? Usopp replied as he looked up and his face went pale. Ah. A huge galleon. Nami screamed in fear as the other members looked on in shock. The large ship slashed down near the Going Merry and sent waves at the smaller ship that knocked the crew members off their feet and into a panic. The Straw Hats were forced to grab different pieces of the ship to regain their balance and be able to stand up. The waves continued to push the Merry as more pieces from the fallen ship fell down from the sky. As the pieces fell down around the Merry, one piece fell from the sky and straight onto Usopp. Ah! Usopp screamed in fear as he looked at what fell on him, a skeleton. Why does ship fall from the sky? Luffy asked in confusion once the broken ship stopped falling. Too weird, Sanji remarked as he looked at the sky. There's nothing up there, Zoro stated as he looked up. What? Nami screamed in shock. What's wrong, Nami Swan? Sanji cooed as he looked at the navigator. What do we do now? Nami questioned as she continued to look at the log pose on her arm. The log pose is broken. It's pointing up and not moving around. That's not right, there's another magnetic field that's changing the direction of the pose, Robin told Nami as she looked up. If it's pointing up, that means it must have locked onto a sky island. Sky Island? Nami questioned in confusion. What is that? There's nothing up there that looks like an island, Usopp screamed in fear. It's more like a floating sea, Robin explained. That's more confusing, Sanji stated. Let's go to the floating island, Luffy yelled out with a smile on his face. It's impossible for the ship to go up, Sanji stated as he looked at Robin. Do you know how to get there? To tell you the truth, I've never seen a sky island, Robin admitted, so I have no idea how to get to one. That's because it's impossible, Nami shouted in annoyance. The log pose is just broken. No, Miss Navigator, what you shouldn't be worried about is that the log pose is broken, Robin stated, but how to get there? What the hell are they doing? Zoro asked Chopper as he looked at the now sinking ship and noticed Luffy and Usopp. No matter how many times this ship is in a strange situation, whatever danger we find along the way, the one thing we can always count on is the log pose, Robin told them all. In this sea we can only blame our narrow-minded way of thinking, because no matter where the log pose is pointing, there will be an island there. Then how do we find a way up there? Sanji asked as he looked up at the sky. We look for some clues, Mr. Cook, Robin replied as she looked around the deck and found the skeleton that fell from the sky. That will do. The crew watched in shock as Robin picked up the pieces of the skull that was on the deck of the Going Merry. The woman began to put the skull back together piece by piece as Zoro and Sanji looked over her shoulder and watched her closely. It didn't take long for Robin to put the skull back together and look over all the damage down to the skull. This hole here is not natural, Robin stated as Sanji raised his eyebrow. Is that how he died? Sanji asked as he knelt down next to Robin. No, this is caused by a surgery known as trepanation, Robin explained. Isn't that right, doctor? Yes, but that method is around 200 years old and was used to cure certain diseases, Chopper explained as he hid behind the mast with Nami. So 200 years ago, Robin mused as she pulled out a book and started to scan it. Found it. The ship was the St. Brice from the Brice Kingdom in the South Blue. It set sailed 208 years ago. That's the same ship that fell from the sky, Sanji remarked as he looked at the picture in the book. Yep, it has the same sail, Robin replied with a small smile. This ship must have been up there for 200 years. You can gather that much information from a skull, a shocked Nami stated. He may not be able to speak, but he can tell his tale, Robin replied. If that ship was used for exploring, there must be a router on the ship, but it is sinking quickly. Hang on, Luffy. The crew heard Usopp yell as he held his captain above water. What are you guys doing? Nami yelled as Zoro jumped into the water as retrieved the pair. Look what I found, Luffy told the crew once he was back on board. A map of Sky Island. The crew yelled in shock as they looked at the old piece of paper that Luffy was holding up. Skypia, Nami muttered as she took the map from Luffy. Does this mean that there is really an island up there? Then let's go there, Luffy stated as Nami stared at him. We can't just go there, this map could be fake, Nami replied. What we really need is information like Robin suggested. How? Usopp asked. We'll just have to salvage the ship, Nami replied with a smile. It didn't take long for the 3 people to be chosen to salvage the ship. The first 2 would be fine if the makeshift scuba diving suits. Zoro and Sanji simply had a single barrel covering their upper bodies and head with tube connected, while Luffy had his whole body covered in 2 barrels with tubes connected to them. The idea was that the tubes would provide the 3 pirates the oxygen they need while they salvage the fallen ship. The trio was lowered into the water by a contraption that Usopp had created to help them find their way back to the ship. As they sunk through the water, they could see the large fish and sea monsters that swam beneath them. As they sank deeper into the ocean, they were left in the dark about what was happening on the Going Merry. Soon after they were lowered into the water, the crew members heard singing coming from near them. As the Straw Hats on the deck of the Going Merry were looking around, they noticed a large ship with a monkey figurehead coming towards us. They noticed the noise coming from the ship and the monkey-like man leading the loud crew. Their faces paled as they heard the word salvage and realized what the other ship was doing here. What are you doing in my territory? The monkey-like man roared. Territory? Nami questioned in confusion. That's right, even sunken ship around here is mine, the man replied. You didn't mess with my stuff, right? Sorry, can I ask you a question? Oni-like man looked at her. You have something to ask, the monkey man yelled in surprised. Go ahead. How are you going to salvage the ship? Nami questioned. Just watch, the man replied. I've already sent a few men down. Boss, we have trouble, a crewman yelled. What? The boss shouted as he turned around and noticed 3 injured men on deck. What happened? It seems somebody punched him, a crew member yelled as the Straw Hats paled. Hey, you, the monkey yelled as he looked at the Straw Hats. Be careful, it looks like there is somebody strong around here. What an idiot, Nami thought. Let's secure the hook and get ready, the monkey man yelled. With Luffy, Sanji and Zoro, the 3 remaining Straw Hats were looking through the sunken ship. All they could find were broken swords, empty treasure chests and a strange wooden boat-like item. As they were walking through the ship they were startled by large metal blades piercing through the wood and locking into place. It wasn't long before bubbles of air seemed to be coming from the large blades and the ship started to be lifted from the seafloor. As the air was filling the room that the trio were standing in, they noticed men with weapons close to them. They quickly jumped into action and started to beat down to men as they started to shout underwater. It didn't take long for the strange men to be knocked out and left lying on the floor. We can take these off, Sanji stated as he noticed that the air filled the room. That's good, Zoro replied as he took his barrel off. There wasn't much down here, Luffy stated in disappointment as he took off both his barrels. Who do you think those men belong to? I guess we'll find out when we get back up there, Zoro replied. Hopefully nothing's happened to Nami Swan and Robin Swan, Sanji cooed with hearts on his eyes. Who dares to cause trouble in my part of the sea? The trio heard someone roar as the wall next to them came crashing down. A monkey, Luffy said in confusion as he looked at the strange man. Do I really look like a monkey? The man asked with a blush. Yep, Luffy replied with a smile. Who are you? Sanji questioned as he looked at the monkey man. I'm Masira, the man replied. Masira is a human with ape-like features. He wears an orange-yellow jumpsuit and also has headphones and goggles. He really does look like a monkey, Luffy repeated as he looked at the man. Stop that, Masira shouted with a blush, you're making me blush. On the Going Merry. What the hell is that? Usopp yelled out in fear. It's huge, Nami shouted as a large shadow was seen from the sea. It's going to eat them, Chopper screamed as he ran around the deck. What do we do? It seems it's too late, Robin stated as she watched the rope connected to the ship tighten. It seems they have already been eaten and if we do nothing about these ropes we will be pulled under with the ship. Do something, Robin, Usopp screamed, you're supposed to be strong. I can't, it's too big, Robin replied simply. Cut the air pipes and rope, Nami screamed as the sky started to darken. You're the devil, Usopp yelled as he noticed the dark sky. What happened? We got to get out of her, the crew heard as Luffy, Zoro and Sanji landed on the deck with giant bags. You cannot leave, Masira yelled as he landed on the deck of the Going Merry. You think you can come into my territory and steal my treasure? You got treasure? Nami asked Luffy with belly signs in her eyes. Yep, lots of it, Luffy replied with a large smile. Captain, we have danger, a man from Masira's ship yelled out as he pointed off into the distance. What the hell? Usopp screamed in fear as everyone noticed 3 giant-like shadows. Let's go, Luffy yelled out as the crew started to sail away from the large shadows. It didn't take long for the crew to escape from the darkness and not have to see the large figures standing over them. As they went through what had happened leading up to the sky darkening, they noticed that they still had Masira on board. Get out of her, Luffy, Zoro and Sanji screamed as they kicked the man away. After they had kicked Masira off the ship they presented their treasure to the crew in hopes of finding some information on how to get to the Sky Island. They were disappointed when Nami began to rant at them about everything they bought back being dirty, rusted or broken. The only thing that they could find out from the ship is that the passengers were killed by someone. Numerous skeletons had spears stuck in their skulls. We found nothing, Nami complained as she walked up the stair. That was a waste. Then take this, Ms. Navigator, Robin stated as she held out her hand to reveal an eternal log pose. What? This is an eternal log pose for Jaya, Nami said in shock as she looked at Robin. How did you get this? I stole it from that monkey's ship, Robin replied with a small smile. So we're going to Jaya, Luffy stated as he looked over Nami's shoulder, full speed to Jaya. Wait a second, Usopp yelled, won't Jaya override the log pose? Stop, Luffy yelled, is there anything we can do, Nami? We'll just have to leave Jaya before the pose is set, Robin told them as Nami dropped to the floor, so we should gather all the information we can as quickly as possible. Onwards to Jaya, Luffy yelled with a smile on his face. Later, still can't see it, Luffy asked Usopp as he lay down on the Going Merry's figurehead. I haven't seen it yet, Usopp replied as he continued to look through the binoculars. We should be close, Zoro stated, that monkey did say that this was his territory. And the weather has been steady for a while, Nami stated, so we are probably in Jaya's weather area. So Jaya's a spring country, Luffy thought aloud. It's so warm, it feels good, Chopper stated. Spring is such a good season, even those seagulls seem to be feeling good. Luffy muttered as he looked up and noticed the seagulls falling onto the deck. Ah, they were shot, Chopper screamed as he looked at the dead seagulls. Shot? Usopp questioned in confusion. I didn't hear any gunshots. That's because it came from the island, Luffy stated as he looked forwards. That was someone's sniper. What? Usopp shouted in shock. How can someone make a shot like that? Jaya, looks like Roshio has taken another easy win, a pirate in the bar laughed. You got lucky the way I see it, Roshio laughed at the man across the table. Sorry pal, but with this you'll have nothing left, unless you're going to bet your underpants as well. Roshio is a tall and muscular man with long white dreadlocks and a wide face. His left arm has an intricately tattooed with skulls and a red pattern. He wears an indigo A shirt with black pants and a headband with his Jolly Roger. A hangman on a red background, on it in a repeating pattern. All this money is mine now, Roshio mocked as he placed his hand over the stack of belly. This is just small change, but that doesn't matter. You can come back next time and I'll play you again. Roshio smirked at the man he was mocked as he tightened his hand and began to lift the money of the table. As he lifted his hand he saw a quick movement from the man across the table and felt a knife pierce his hand. The man sitting across from him began to laugh as Roshio screamed in pain as his hand was pinned to the table. You cheated just then, didn't you? The man accused. What did you say? Roshio screamed through the pain. Don't try to cause trouble because you lost. When do you think I did that? You did. You cheated, the man accused again with a dark look on his face. Hey, who does that kid think he's messing with? A man in the bar yelled. That game looked perfectly legit. Never mind that, another man said to the first. That's Bellamy the hyena. Although he may be young, he already has a bounty of over 50 million belly on his head. Bellamy is a tall man with tan skin and short, unkempt blonde hair. He wears white pants, a green sash with markings, and a pink sleeveless shirt with a nin's coat over it. Sarkis, Bellamy barked out at the man sitting at the bar. Sarkis. Huh, what is it? The man asked. Sarkis has wavy, shoulder-length blue hair and wears a purple-tinted visor over his eyes. He also wears a white furred coat over his bare chest in addition to golden chains that are either a necklace or a clasp. He has red and white striped gloves and pants with the same pattern alongside a gold belt. You saw it to right, Bellamy asked. This guy cheated. Cheated? Sarkis questioned. Oh, yeah, he cheated. You bastards are talking shit, Roshio yelled out. It seems you don't know who I am. As Roshio rose to his feet and pulled his hand off the table with the knife still in it ready to fight, a shocked look appeared on his face. Bellamy had quickly pulled another blade out of his coat as well as a gun that he had pointed at Roshio's face. A second later a gunshot was heard and unseen to the people in the room Roshio was sent flying out of the bar they were in and bled to death in the street. With the straw hats, looks like there are all kinds of people here, Luffy stated as he got off the deck of the Going Merry with Zoro behind him. It seems like quite a fun place, Zoro replied with a smirk on his face. Damn it, we can't let this happen, Nami muttered from next to Usopp as the pair of them watched Luffy and Zoro begin to walk off. It's impossible for those two to not cause any trouble. Yeah, this city already has enough troublemakers, Usopp replied as he looked around. In that case I can't allow them to enter the city alone, Nami yelled as she jumped off the ship and chased after the pair. Wait, Luffy, Zoro. Ah, Nami, Luffy said as the orange-haired navigator caught up to them. I'm surprised you got off the ship. I need you to promise me something, Nami stated as she looked at the pair. What is it? Zoro asked, feeling as if he would regret it. That you won't fight with anyone in this city, Nami replied. Fine, I promise not to fight anyone in this city, Luffy replied as Zoro nodded next to him. It's not like I was looking for one. You mean it? Nami asked in surprise. Yeah, the pair answered as they continued to walk through Mock Town. As they walked through the town they began to notice a group of strange people. It started with a sickly man who fell off his horse and was handing out apples. They ignored the man as he offered them apples only for his horse to collapse as well. As they walked away from the man they heard an explosion ring out and the shouts of how a man exploded after eating an apple given to him by the sick man. The next man they saw was dressed like a luchador and was bragging about being the fighting champion of Jaya. Zoro and Luffy resisted showing the strange man up and continued to walk forwards. The trio soon walked into a hotel only to be greeted by the owner who quickly tried to kick them out while ignoring their questions. As the trio turned around to leave they were met by a man and a woman who mocked them for their clothes and threw money at them while laughing. Nami dragged Luffy and Zoro away before the trio lashed out and they were soon sitting in a bar trying to gather the needed information. Nami sat at the bar with Luffy and Zoro as a large hairy man sat next to Luffy. The navigator was questioning the bartender about Jaya before she was interrupted by the large man and Luffy. The pair had ordered the exact same thing, a cherry pie and soda. As they finished the pie they both yelled for the bartender. This pie is delicious, the large man yelled. This pie is disgusting, Luffy yelled at the same time before looking at the big man and drinking his soda at the same time as the large man. "This soda is delicious," Luffy praised with a smile. "This is the worst soda I've ever drunk," the man shouted. Nami had to sweat drop as the pair glared at each other and then began to try and outdo each other. Luffy would order 50 pieces of meat. Then the other man would order 51 cherry pies. This continued until Luffy stood up and slammed his foot onto the stool as he glared at the large man. "What's your problem?" the pair yelled at the same time. "Do you want to fight?" "How did this turn hostile?" Zoro questioned in shock. "Remember what you promised," Nami yelled at her captain, "and we're not carrying enough money anyway." "You're a pirate?" the man questioned as he continued to glare at Luffy. "That's right," Luffy yelled back. "Bounty?" the man asked. 80 million, Luffy replied, not missing the small smirk that appeared on the man's face. 80 million, you? The man laughed. "You're lying." "I'm not lying, it's true," Luffy shouted back. "Don't fight here," the bartender yelled as he handed over a large bag to the big man. "Take this and leave, there's 50 cherry pies in there." HMPH, the man sighed as he turned around and walked out of the bar. "Is there a pirate with a straw hat in here?" Bellamy asked as he kicked open the door to the bar. "It's Bellamy," a man screamed out in fear. HMPH, so you're the supposed 80 million belly boy? Bellamy stated as he looked at Luffy, Straw Hat Luffy. "What is it?" Luffy asked as he leant back on the bar. "Looks like you're popular today," Zoro stated with a smirk. "Give me a glass of your best wine and the kid whatever he wants," Bellamy stated as he walked up to the bar. "Alright," the bartender replied. "It's those guys from the hotel," Nami muttered to Zoro as the swordsman nodded at her. "It's stinky, dirty and nasty in here," Sarky said in disgust. "This place is packed." "Let's go," a pirate stated as he noticed Sarkis pull out a large knife. "That's big knife Sarkis, worth 48 million belly." "Here," the bartender stated as he placed a glass of wine in front of Bellamy and a glass of rum in front of Luffy. "Sorry to keep you waiting." "Here, let's drink," Bellamy stated with a smirk on his face. "Ah, thanks," Luffy replied as he lifted the glass to his mouth. "You're a good guy after all." "Luffy," Zoro shouted as he drew Wado Ichimonji. Luffy's smirk turned into a full smile as he concentrated on his newly gained powers when he felt Bellamy move his hand behind his head. Bellamy went to push Luffy's head into the bar only to let out a shock gasp and have to pull his hand back as it went straight through Luffy's head. As he pulled his hand back, he noticed the darkness swirling around Luffy, reforming the boy's head. "You're lucky I promised that I wouldn't fight," Luffy told Bellamy as he drank his rum. "Damn it," Nami yelled as she turned around and looked at the bartender. "Excuse me, do you know anything about a sky island? We want to go there." The whole bar froze at the navigator's word as they looked at each other, bursting out into laughter. They began to mock the trio as they stood in front of the bar, and Bellamy looked at them in disappointment. "I can't take it anymore. What kind of backwater country are you from? I can't believe you actually believe in the myth of the Sky Island. What age are you people from? The mysterious currents of the Grand Line are being solved one by one. The knock-up stream is just one of them." Bellamy mocked the trio. He. "And let me guess. You haven't even heard of it. The victims of the stream are knocked up into the sky and then sent crashing down. Long ago sailors believed these ships were falling from sky islands. That's impossible. All phenomenons have an explanation. All dreams can be explained." Nami's mouth opened in shock as she looked at the man mocking them. She looked to Zoro and Luffy and noticed the pair's hands had gone white from gripping their blades so hard. She was happy the duo lived up to their words about not fighting, but felt that they could break their word now and put the man in front of them down. "I can't believe this. I was going to test you and see if you would join my crew of the new era. I was right in believing that poster was fake. You're nothing but a dreamer," Bellamy mocked. "Listen up. The pirates' dream era is over. The lost city of gold, the Emerald City, the great treasure of One Piece. Their dream treasures cannot notice what's right in front of them. In this era, the ones who don't have strength are the ones who die by their imagination. In the end, this is how the world will judge all the idiots who died for their dreams." Luffy smirked as the man charged him once again and swung a broken bottle at him. He let the bottle go straight through his body as Zoro began to unsheath his swords. Luffy shook his head at the swordsman, who understood what his captain wanted as Nami screamed at them to fight. Luffy allowed Bellamy to punch him in the face as he stood tall. The people in the bar began to throw bottles at them as Bellamy smirked and laughed. The men began to lay into the pair as Nami screamed at them to break their promise and fight. It wasn't long before the pair of them had blood running from their noses and small cuts on their torsos. "I knew you weren't worth 80 million inches," Bellamy mocked as he spat wine all over the pair. "I thought you would have at least some backbone, you chicken shit." Bellamy smirked as he lifted his leg and kicked Zoro in the head as someone from his crew slammed Luffy's head into a wall. The bar continued to laugh at the pair as Bellamy and his crew laid into the duo, who refused to fight back. "Hey, woman, how much do I have to pay to get you to come over here?" Sarkis asked with a giant smirk. "I'm sorry, for me to join a group of small fries like you will be a waste of my talents," Nami replied. "Ah, so you're expensive." Sarkis laughed. "Get these two out of here," Bellamy told Nami as he spat at them, "and don't come back or I'll finish them off." Nami grabbed the pair and dragged them out of the bar as she noticed the large man from before sitting outside of the bar. Sky Island does exist, the man told them as he continued to eat his pie. You're the man from before, Nami said in confusion. Zee-ha-ha-ha-ha, the cherry pies here are the best. The man replied, but why are you still angry, your friends won that battle. Zoro, Luffy, Nami muttered as the pair stood up. The new age those guys were talking about, it's all bullshit. The man stated, saying that the days of dreaming is over, Zee-ha-ha-ha-ha, a man's dream will never die. Luffy nodded at the strange man as the people walking through the streets stopped to look at them. They were confused as to why the man was yelling such things. Let them laugh, anybody who wants to be a first-rate man will encounter a time when there is no reason to fight back, the man yelled out. Let's go, Zoro stated as he turned around. Luffy, Nami muttered in worry as she looked at her captain. Oh, it looks like I'm in your way, are you in a hurry? The man asked as he stood up. It would be great if you could get there, to Sky Island. Hey, he probably knows something about Sky Island, Nami stated as Zoro and Luffy began to walk away. Dunno, Luffy replied, but it's not he, Nami said in confusion, then what? It's they, Zoro stated. He has companions, Nami asked as she walked behind the pair. Going merry. Those wounds, Usopp yelled in shock and fear, who could give you two that kind of damage? Nami Swan, are you alright? Sanji shouted out in worry for the navigator. Doctor, Chopper screamed, we need a doctor. You're a doctor, Usopp deadpanned as Chopper calmed down. Don't worry about it, Luffy told them as he jumped onto the deck, it was just pirates. I still think you should have fought back, Nami grumbled in annoyance. You were the one who told us not to get into fights, Zoro replied as Nami rounded on him. That was in the past, Nami yelled as she rounded on Zoro, if you bring that up again I'll kill you. Did you find anything out about Sky Island? Chopper questioned innocently as Nami began to glare at him. Sky Island, I don't even care anymore, when I mentioned it at the bar everybody just laughed, Nami growled out, is everything I say funny, is it because I say it? Defense point, Chopper muttered. Desperation attack. Ketchup star, Usopp muttered as he lay down and pretended to be dead. Ah, it sounds like there's quite a big fight going on, Robin stated as she walked onto the Going Merry. Ah, Robin Swan, do you want your bath or food first? Sanji yelled out with hearts in his eyes. You, Nami roared as she rounded on the other woman. This is all your fault for mentioning Sky Island. Here, Robin said as she handed Luffy a map. What's this? The pirate asked. A map of the island, Robin replied. The X mark is on the other side of the island and supposedly houses someone we should meet. A little while later, there's a lot of weird people around here, Luffy said as he stood next to Sanji at the front of the ship. Do you think there will be trouble? Usopp yelled from behind the mast. Hey, you there, a monkey-like man shouted from the ship in front of them. Stop chatting like we aren't here. Huh? Luffy said as he noticed the monkey figurehead, that's so cool. Geez, and I thought you were someone dangerous, the monkey man stated, it was leaving me on edge. Huh, why does your face look like a monkey? Luffy asked, what species are you? I'm a human you punk, the man shouted back. It seems like you guys are pirates. Did you know that Crocodile recently lost his seat in the Shichibukai and if they're going off real strength I'll take that seat. So, you want to be a Shichibukai? Luffy asked as he stared at the strange man. You're probably wondering what's special about me. The man questioned. Well, I'll let you know. Ever since my birth I haven't cut my hair. You're an idiot, Luffy replied. Are you surprised me? The man stated in shock. That response made me edgy. Remember this phase. Passing through the tunnel called my fury will result in a bath of blood. Head out of our way, Luffy yelled in frustration. You stupid idiot, this sea is a part of my territory and if you want to pass you'll have to pay the toll, the man shouted in anger. This guy sounds like Marissa, Usopp stated as the monkey man turned his attention to the sniper. You know him, the monkey yelled out. Yeah, we meet him on the way here, Usopp replied. What happened to him? The man asked. We kicked him away, Luffy replied as he began to glare at the other captain. You what? The man yelled. I'll avenge him. Stop, Luffy whispered as he released a burst of Hashoku haki and the man fell to the ground. We're going. Captain Shoju, the monkey's men yelled out in worry as the Straw Hats began to sail away. What happened? I don't know, the monkey man muttered. Shoju is a large man who looks like an orangutan with long green hair. He wears a black button-up shirt that is too small for his body showing off his hairy torso, a green captain's coat with his arms in the sleeves, and a green captain's hat with his personal Jolly Roger on the front. He also wears a belt that has the kanji for forest engraved upon it. Due to not having cut his hair in 25 years, his hair is so long that its entire length is almost as long as Shoju's entire body height. Later, this is the place on the map, Nami informed them. What's this guy's name? Mont Blanc Cricket, Robin replied as she looked at the sight before her. The man who got exiled due to his dreams, Nami muttered. That's so cool, Luffy yelled as they looked the castle in front of them. You idiots, Zoro muttered. "The man who lies," Sanji stated. "Take a closer look at it." "What do you mean?" Chopper asked as his innocence shined through. "It's a board," Luffy stated as he got a closer look at it. "He only has a small house," Chopper said in surprise as he looked at the small building. He was hiding this behind the cardboard. "What dreams got him exiled?" Nami questioned Robin as they all got off the ship. "I don't know all the details, but he talked about a large amount of gold hidden here on Jaya." Robin told them all as Nami's eyes turned into belly signs. Luffy ignored the orange-haired navigator as she ordered the doctor and sniper of the crew to dig up the ground beneath them. He KNTHE house and opened it as he walked inside and looked around with Sanji following close behind him. With a quick scan of the house they nodded at each other and walked back outside as Nami found a picture book. "King of the Liars Noland," Nami read off the cover. "That brings back memories," Sanji admitted as he lit up another cigarette. "You know of this book?" Nami asked as Sanji nodded, "but it's from the North Blue." "That's where I was born," Sanji replied with a dark look in his eyes. "I thought I told you guys." "This is the first time I'm hearing about it," Usopp told him. "This book is really popular with kids in the North Blue, but it was supposedly a true story," Sanji told them all. The crew stopped and listened as Nami began to read from the book. It took place long ago in the North Blue and was about the explorer Mont Blanc Noland, a man with such tales that the people didn't know if they were real or lies. After one of his adventures, the man reported back to the king that he had found an island of gold, and the king, wanting to see the island himself, commanded 2,000 men to join them. The king and his men sailed dangerous seas and battled giant monsters to find the island of gold. When they finally found the island, they had lost many of their men and only saw a jungle on the island. Noland was blamed for the death of the king's men and was sentenced to death. His last words were, "I know the island must have sunk into the sea." After that day no one believed the tales that Noland once told, and after his last words his head was removed from his body. As Luffy listened to the story, his Kenbunshoku haki flared to life and let him know about the man emerging from the water near them. He watched as the man jumped out of the water and began to glare at them. "What the hell are you doing here?" the man yelled as he took a fighting stance. "You punks have a lot of guts to enter a man's house without his permission. This is my territory after all, and I know you're after the gold." The man that emerged from the water is a muscular, middle-aged man with blonde hair. He has a large chestnut on his head which he inherited from his ancestor, Noland. He wears dark purple tracksuit pants with a white stripe running along each leg, and a rope around his waist. He does not generally wear a shirt, nor shoes, due to his continuous diving explorations. On his left arm, Cricket has a tattoo of a chestnut with the word, "Maroon," written across it. The man rushed at Sanji in speed that surprised the young cook. Cricket attempted to kick Sanji in the head only for the cook to dodge. Not wanting to fight back, Sanji continued to dodge and counter the kicks and punches that the man attempted to hit him with. Sanji's eyes widened as he noticed the pointed at him and was to bend backwards to dodge the bullet the man fired at him. As Zoro noticed the man getting ready to fire another bullet, her unsheathed Wado Ichimonji and began to rush at the man before his eyes widened and he watched the man collapse to the ground. "Doctor!" Chopper yelled in shock. "We need a doctor." "That would be you, Mr. Doctor," Robin yelled as Chopper rushed over to the man and began to check him over. It wasn't long before Chopper realized that the man had dysbarism and ordered the other members of the crew to take him inside. It didn't take long for Chopper to begin his treatment of the man as he informed the rest of the crew of how the disease is contracted. As he helped heal, the man shouted was heard outside, and it wasn't long before the two monkey men from before burst into the house worrying about their boss. The two men's face turned pale as they noticed the people in the house. Fearing their boss's life, they got ready to fight before Luffy informed them that they were helping. The two monkey men broke out crying at those words as they thanked the Straw Hats. It wasn't long after that Cricket woke up and Chopper allowed them to visit the man. "Diamond Head," Luffy stated as he looked at the man, "there's something I want to ask you." "What do you want to ask me?" Cricket replied as he lit up a cigarette. "We want to get to Sky Island," Luffy told them. "Do you know how?" "Giahahaha, you guys actually believe that's real?" Cricket laughed as Usopp held Nami back. "We want to find out. Why do you think it doesn't exist?" Luffy replied. "I don't know if it is, but I know a man who said it did," Cricket told them. He was known as a great lair though, someone who was always laughed at. "Don't look at me," Usopp yelled as all the Straw Hats looked at him. "My ancestor, Mont Blanc Noland," Cricket stated. "Your ancestor?" Nami yelled in surprise. With that, Cricket began to tell the crew about his life, and the life of his family. Noland was Cricket's great-great-great-grandfather. He told them about the whole family was exiled and even to this day shamed by the actions of his ancestor. He surprised the crew by telling them that no one blamed Noland as he was a very honest man that wouldn't lie. He told them about how the man died with tear flowing from his eyes and not a smile. As soon as Usopp asked the man if he was attempting to follow in Noland's footsteps, Cricket drew his pistol and pointed it at the sniper. He told them that his ancestor had nothing to do with him and how he was mocked for having that surname for his entire childhood. He told them that many of his family had ended up at Jaya in an attempt to find the City of Gold but had failed, but for him, he He became ashamed and run away from his family and became a pirate. He told them about how 10 years ago, after a series of events, he arrived in Jaya and decided to finish it. He decided that there was no way to escape his destiny and decided to stay on Jaya as his crew left him. After they left, he spent every day searching the waters around Jaya for evidence of the City of Gold. After he finished his story, he handed them Nolan's log and left the house as the Straw Hats listened to Nami read the log. It seemed there was plenty of evidence that fell from the sky that proved the existence of a Sky Island, including a thing called a waiver. As the crew discussed how to get to Sky Island, Cricket was talking with the Masira and Shoju on how they would help them get to the Sky Island, so the crew doesn't kill themselves. Cricket called out Luffy to talk to about how to get to the Sky Island as Nami and Usopp began to follow him outside. Cricket began to tell them about the strange phenomenon around Jaya, how during the day, night would sometimes come with giants. Cricket told them that strange darkness was caused by a very dense cloud, a cloud that doesn't descend or rain, but when it appears it blocks out the sun. That is where he believed the Sky Island would be, and there was only one way to get up there. A stream called the knock-up stream would blow them up to the cloud, but they had to time it perfectly. They would have to find a knock-up stream that was directly under the cloud for them to get to Sky Island. "We'll do it," Luffy stated as Nami and Usopp went white. "But your ship won't be able to handle the stream," Cricket informed them, "so allow me, Shoju and Masira, to fix your ship." "Thanks for the help," Luffy told him as the man began to walk away from them. That night the Straw Hats had been partying with the trio before Cricket began to show him some of the gold he had found in the water nearby. That was before he swore and rushed them out of the house and into the forest to the south to find a south bird that would lead them to the knock-up stream. As the Straw Hats rushed from the house, none of them noticed the sails of a pirate ship on the horizon. The Straw Hats entered the dark forest and tried to make sense of the clues that the old man had told them. They would find the south bird by listening for a strange chirping. They knew what the bird looked like due to the gold statue that Cricket had shown them at the house. It didn't take long for them to hear the strange noise as they looked around the forest and tried to locate its source. The crew broke up the forest only to be met with unexpected resistance in the form of the animals from the forest. The first team, that consisted of Sanji, Nami and Usopp, were swarmed by all kinds of bugs. The panicked Sanji and Nami was quite funny to the normally cowardly Usopp, who simply picked up one of the spiders and let it roam over his body. The second team of Zoro and Robin quickly worked their way through the forest due to Zoro cutting through any animals that got in their way. The partnership was filled with unease due to the distrust that Zoro held for Robin and his annoyance of her continuously correcting their place. The third team of Luffy and Chopper were just having fun while walking through the forest. Chopper was enjoying talking to the animals and Luffy was enjoying looking at the different kinds of bugs that called the forest their home. Anytime an animal stepped out of line and tried to attack them, Luffy would simply use a burst of his haki to scare them away as they continued to hear the strange noise they were trying to find. It didn't take long for the crew to end up back at the start of the jungle, as they were either forced away by the animals or followed the strange noise. They huddled together as they began to be surrounded by animals. Luffy's continuous bursts of haki scared them off, but new animals always appeared in their place. That was until they heard a mocking cry. Robin smirked at the bird and crossed her arms as the south bird continued to mock them about never being able to catch him. The mocking cries were cut off as arms appeared out of the tree branch it was on and wrapped around it. The bird was tossed down to one of the nets the Straw Hats were holding, and the crew left the forest with a smirk or smile on their faces. They were greeted with a gruesome sight as they arrived back at the house to see the Going Merry broken in half and the three men that were helping them bleeding on the ground. As they rushed to their aid to find out what was happening and help heal their injuries, Nami noticed that the gold was gone as Zoro noticed a painted smile with a cross through it that they had seen before. "It's Bellamy's symbol," Nami screamed in shock as she noticed the same mark. "Do you want my help?" Zoro asked his captain. "I can do it alone," Luffy replied. "No way, Luffy, quit kidding around, we have 3 hours until dawn," Nami yelled out at him. "Can I run along the beach and reach the town?" Luffy asked Robin. "Yes, you can," the woman replied. "Hey kid, where are you going?" Cricket yelled out. "Don't mind my business, you already know." "If you want to stop him, you'll have to use this," Zoro told the man as he held out Wado Ichimonji. "I'll be back before dawn," Luffy told the crew as he took off running for Mocktown. Mocktown, a pirate stood on the pier pissing off it into the sea as he laughed at what had happened during the day and wondered why there was no god of rum. As he pissed, a news crew dropped a paper off behind him. The man finished his piss and turned around as he opened the paper and noticed it was full of bounties. As his eyes scanned the bounties, his eyes went wide in shock as two faces stood out. The man grabbed the posters and the one behind it as he ran through the town and kicked the door open to the bar that he had last seen Bellamy in. "Big discovery," the man yelled out. "What's up this late at night?" one of the pirates in the bar asked. "The person who was here during the day," the man started before he noticed Bellamy. "You should run away, you will get killed." "What are you saying? Someone will kill me?" Bellamy asked in a mocking tone. "Look at these," the man yelled as he slammed the 3 posters down on the table. "Straw Hat Luffy, wanted dead or alive for 180 million belly. Pirate Hunter Zoro, wanted dead or alive for 100 million belly, and Black Leg Sanji, wanted dead or alive for 60 million belly. These 3 men are on this island, a man yelled out in fear. What do we do? Another yelled. Look at that one's face, a pirate laughed. Bellamy's bounty is only 55 million belly, a pirate screamed. Bunch of idiots, how can a piece of paper get you so scared? Bellamy asked. You've seen him in person. You've never heard about pirates like this in the past, making fake bounties to make themselves look strong. An opponent would be too afraid to do anything, but if they actually fought they would win. Bellamy, where are you? The bar heard a familiar voice roar out from the streets. Calling out for me like that? Bellamy laughed as he began to walk out of the bar. We were just talking about you. Do you have something to say to me? Give the diamond head guy his gold back, Luffy demanded as he jumped down to the streets and stood across from the man. Gold? Bellamy asked with a smirk. Ah, that cricket guy's treasure. Luffy watched as Bellamy's legs turned into springs and the man launched at him. With a call of spring snipe, the man launched himself at Luffy. The straw hat wearing boy stepped to the side and let Bellamy rush past him as he watched the man turn himself around and shoot back at him. Every time Bellamy got close to Luffy, the boy simply dodged before Bellamy got frustrated and roared out, Spring Hopper. Your friends, ha ha ha, the old man and those monkey idiots. They're idiots who believe in a 400-year-old lie made by bluffing idiots. Ha ha ha. The man mocked as he continued to bounce off the buildings. Golden City, Sky Island. The day for daydreams are over and people like you are the shame of pirates. You're probably wondering if I can throw a punch, Luffy muttered as his eyes darkened. Farewell, Straw Hat Kiddo, Bellamy mocked as he shot straight at Luffy. Luffy lifted his right arm as Bellamy closed in on him. The man had a large smirk on his face as he prepared to shoot straight through Luffy's chest, only for Luffy to bring his fist down. Luffy's punch connected with Bellamy's face and caused the man's face to cave in and leave a fist mark as the man hit the ground and the pirates let out a shocked gasp. Hey, quit kidding around, Bellamy, Sarkis yelled out. Are you trying to play with us or something? Get up, you're the super rookie Bellamy. Give me the gold, Luffy ordered as the men and women around him recoiled in fear. The people around them began to flee as Bellamy's crew rushed over to the man. Luffy ignored the group and walked into the bar that they were in and found the gold sitting on a table. With a smile, the boy put it into a nearby bag and left the bar as Bellamy's crew glared at him. Hey, you, where are you going? We won't lose to fantasy-chasing idiots, Sarkis yelled out as Luffy walked away from him. Where are you going? Up, Luffy said simply as he walked away from the crew, to the sky. It wasn't long after Luffy left the town that the man that the Straw Hats meet easier returned to the scene of the fight. The man, hearing about the bounty that Luffy and Zoro possessed, broke out into laughter as he slammed one of Bellamy's crewmates' heat into the ground. 180 million, that'll do. Zee-ha-ha-ha-ha. The man laughed as he was joined by 3 other men. With the Straw Hats, I'm back, Luffy yelled as he rushed towards his crew. Here's your gold. As Luffy handed over the gold, he noticed the fixed going merry with the modifications made did. His eyes widened as he noticed that the ship now looked like a chicken. He shrugged his shoulder as he looked at Cricket, who was having a smoke and staring at the boy. Hurry up and get on the ship. There's no time, the man growled out. You want to give up your chance at going to Sky Island, fool. Thanks for the ship, Luffy told the man as he jumped aboard the Going Merry. I'll make sure to find a way to let you know if it exists. That's true romance, the older man replied with a smirk. Good luck. On Buggy's ship in the Grand Line, the Buggy pirates were currently throwing a large party as they made plans to take Luffy for his bounty. The group were having so much fun that they didn't even notice a man board the ship and begin to eat their food as TG Luffy's capture. Stop being so noisy, Alvida told them all. We don't even know where Luffy is, so how do you plan to catch him? Don't worry so much, Alvida, Buggy yelled out. Just have some fun. Ah, if you want to meet Luffy, let me give you some information, the man that boarded their ship stated. Look, this guy will tell, Buggy started before he looked at the man. Who the hell are you? Ah, sorry for disrupting your party, the man said as he bowed his head. I was attracted by the very strong and sweet scent. My name is Ace. No, you're too polite, the pirates yelled out in shock. I was asking who the hell you are, Buggy growled as he got in Ace's face. I don't care what your name is, guy with the overly inflated ego. Captain, this guy is Fire Fist, a pirate yelled out in shock, Whitebeard's 2nd Division commander. Whitebeard, Buggy yelled in shock. Oh, you know our old man, Ace started before he fell asleep. He fell asleep, the crew yelled in shock. This is our chance, we can kill Ace and reach glory, a member yelled out. No, Buggy roared out, remember this. All of you, do not fight against Whitebeard's men. That man is the only one who died in a fight against the Pirate King. Without a doubt he is currently the strongest man in the world. He is the closest man to the One Piece. And the thing that Whitebeard despises most is his friends getting hurt. That is a death sentence. You seem like you know this man well, Alvida stated in surprise. Of course, I do. Back when I first enter the Grand Line I meet him head one, Buggy told his crew much to their shock. Oh, so you know him personally, Ace asked in surprise. Ah, he woke up, Buggy screamed in fear. Let's get back to this party, Ace said. Yeah, it's a rare occasion, let's do it, Buggy yelled. Whitebeard's ship, he actually sent somebody to deliver a message, Whitebeard said in annoyance as he ripped the letter handed to him into pieces. Since when is that kid too good to come in person? Wait, please, wait, the boss said that letter is important. The man on the ship yelled out, he's the red hair, are you for real? So, I'm Whitebeard, the larger pirate replied. Boss said there is important matters in there, the man cried out. I can guess what the content is about, Ace and Blackbeard, tell that kid if he wants to talk, come here in person and bring some good rum. Whitebeard stated, go back if you understand, I don't talk to snotty-nosed brats. With the straw hats the water beneath them had turned wild as they sailed towards the large dark cloud. It seemed the knock-up stream was going to go off early and the crew had to get into place. They sailed through the wild waves before their eyes widened and they noticed a whirlpool nearby. That was where they had to be before the knock-up stream went off. As the sky became dark the Going Merry began to be sucked into the whirlpool. As they reached the middle the water lifted up to the normal level and the crew began to prepare to be shot up into the air. Zee-ha-ha-ha-ha, I finally caught you straw hat brat. A man laughed as he sailed towards them. I've come for that 180 million belly head of yours. I got a new bounty, Luffy yelled back. There's a bounty worth 180 million belly on your head, 100 million belly for pirate hunter Zoro and 60 million belly for black leg Sanji. The man yelled out as Usopp confirmed it with a laugh. Sanji's poster, the sniper laughed. As the strange Mana and his small crew sailed towards the Going Merry they noticed the water beneath the Straw Hat's ship bulge before it shot off into the air. Their ship was trying to sail the knock-up stream as Nami began to bark out orders on how they were supposed to sail up into the air. It didn't take long for the sails to come down and catch the need wind as they shot through the air and into the cloud. On a winter island, ha ha ha. That old man did not change one bit, Shanks laughed over the Dendenmushi. This is not a joke, a voice yelled from the other side of the snail. I had thought it would turn out like this, Shanks admitted. Boss, give me some time, I have never been made fun of like this. The voice from the other side of the snail said. Oi, oi, what do you want to do? Shanks asked. Just forget it and come back. But what about my pride? The man questioned. Your life is more important than your pride, Shanks told the man. It is beyond your ability, you have already worked hard on that task. What do we do now, boss? Lucky Roo questioned once Shanks hung up. Let's go prepare the ship. Shanks told them all. To Whitebeard? Lucky Roo asked. Yep, Shanks replied. If you do that, do you think the world government will continue its silence? Ben Beckman asked Shanks. Now's not the time for that discussion, Shanks stated as he stood up. The government won't keep its silence but if they attack neither will I.